everybody, and welcome back to day 2 of IHI's brokerage event. We're going to hear a lot of pitches today, and our on-site meeting rooms are once again open. A quick reminder that if you do want to book a meeting room for today, you need to use the whiteboard, which is available at the registration area. It is on a first-come, first-served basis, so if you want to make sure you have a meeting, get that in there early and book your slot. A reminder for everyone today that if you are wearing a green lanyard, this means that you have a project proposal or you're a pitcher. If you have a blue lanyard, that means that you're from an organization that is interested in taking part in a proposal or that can help you to make connections. So that's just an announcement. I know I made it yesterday, but in case we have anybody here who wasn't here yesterday. Also, if you're looking for some help from IHI staff, my colleagues are in white lanyards, so that'll help you to pick them out. As you go throughout your day, if any questions crop up, you can submit them to Slido. So the Slido should be coming up behind me here. If you didn't scan it yesterday, you can scan it today. And you can submit them up until 3:30 today, and we will try to answer some of them then in our Ask the Expert section, which takes place at 5:15 today. Also a reminder that tomorrow our virtual lounge is open. So tomorrow we have a dedicated online event where you can do this networking within these virtual lounges. We're going to open 100 virtual lounges, which will give you the possibility to have meetings online with participants that you met for these 2 days and also with participants who weren't able to make it today. Each of our lounges has 10 people maximum. You do need to message people through the platform, and then you go into a virtual lounge and you let them know which number virtual lounge that you're in, and they can come and they can join you. So those are open from 9 o'clock tomorrow, so if you make connections today and you want to continue the conversations, it's a really good opportunity, so we hope that you take advantage of that. Last but not least, some emergency information. On the left and the right of the stage, you can see green doors, so if there is an emergency, we're going to go out that way. And also at the registration area, you just go straight through, and that's how you exit the building, straight through the doors there. So, without further ado, let's get started. This session's pitches are focusing on IHI's specific objective 1, contributing towards a better understanding of the determinants of health and priority disease areas. So please give a warm welcome to our first pitcher from the Max-Planck Institute for the Biology of Aging, Salvatore.
Yes. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you very much for having me and for allowing us to pitch our approach on how to understand the determinants of health. We are a group of academic partners, as you can see on the slide, merging forces under the umbrella of a joint publicly funded institution, the so-called CCAT, Cluster of Aging Research based in Cologne, which is here represented with a project idea led by Professor Cristina Polidori from the University Clinic Cologne. We propose the disentanglement of the complexity of multimorbidity in aging, which I have the honor of presenting today on her behalf. Next slide. So multimorbidity in higher age is a main cost driver in our healthcare system. Multimorbidity is depicted by a level of complexity which is difficult to encounter with our currently existing disease management strategies on organizational level. Instead, it would require a database system perspective to unwire its complexity, which are manifested very differently in different individuals. Whenever possible, the accumulation of aging-associated diseases leading to multimorbidity shall be identified before early onset of its manifestation. So the quest for a validated marker for prediction of individual health trajectories to prevent multimorbidity is open and depends on overcoming scientific silos. We believe there is a missing link between the molecular biology exploiting latest technologies in epigenetics, metabolomics, inflammaging, and so on, to enhance existing aging tools and to measure and predict healthy trajectories. Identifying this missing link will allow us to disentangle the complexity of multimorbidity. Professor Cristina Polidori already validated her multidimensional prognostic index multiple times, and she coordinates the largest longitudinal multi-setting database worldwide to identify personalized fingerprints of aging, allowing her the prediction of trajectories and giving personalized feedback on parameters displaying a level of individual robustness. We are currently working on the expansion of this geriatric assessment with additional biomolecular parameters to increase precision and strengthen its concept. To achieve this, we make use of multi-omics technologies and apply them on different large human data sets. Here you see a typical correlation network referring to the Metabol Health Index, which is a multi-analyte score showing significant associations with mortality. Several such validated biomolecular fingerprints match the aging medicine algorithm of the clinically multidimensional prognostic index I showed on the slide before. So we bring clinically validated measurements and prognostic tools for aging citizens in real life, and we enable industry to change perspective towards the maintenance and robustness in aging to allow interventions at early onset. Our main message is a paradigm shift from managing diseases towards predicting health trajectories, focusing on existing resources of aging citizens. Further, we introduce measurements and biomarkers for innovations, ranging from guidelines for clinical decision-making, interventions at early onset, to self-management tools for personalized health. There's a lot patients will benefit from when health becomes reliably measurable and predictive. So we offer our expertise in aging medicine, human and non-human studies, and with more than 50 principal investigators, more than 800 employees in molecular biology, more than 40 attracted ERC projects so far, the CCAT offers a lot to its partners. We are specifically seeking industrial partners for exploitation and valorization of this approach, clinical partners to enlarge the database, and various expertise across the field. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Salvatore. You can just go off the stage there on the left. No problem. Okay, thank you very much for that presentation. I see some other people have joined us in the room, so just to make you aware that Slido is open again for questions until 3:30 today. So if you do have some questions for our Ask the Expert session, you can add them in there. And our next speaker then is from Healios Technologies. Please welcome Emmanuel.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to present our project, Dynamic Evaluation and Digital Inference of Cognitive Aging through Technology in Europe. Oops. Alzheimer's disease is characterized by a slow cognitive decline that starts years before symptoms and even diagnosis is evoked. Europeans are getting older every day. Already now, 52 million persons are estimated to suffer from prodromal Alzheimer's disease in Europe. Many of us feel concerned. I already feel my cognition, my attention, my memory is declining. Am I one of these prodromal cases, pre-symptomatic? Are you? Well, as neurologists, we can't detect cognitive decline in normal subjects. We need to repeat the test to see this decline. However, each individual trajectory is unique, and there is no efficient tool to detect this cognitive decline for now. Current clinical evaluations are costly because they are lengthy and heavily reliant on subjective recall. Traditional cognitive tests are generic. They are not adapted to everyone and not challenging enough for cognitively normal subjects. As a consequence, they are suffering from a strong practice and learning effect In a few words, that means that normal people will improve each time they do a new test. And that prevents for detecting subtle cognitive decline. Drug development aiming to prevent Alzheimer's disease requires the capacity to capture this cognitive decline in early pre-symptomatic patients. You cannot treat what you cannot measure. Our approach is to build a European, wide-scale, large-scale study that will include a lot, 25,000 patients, well, not even patients, subjects that are still cognitively normal, but that we want to follow up for 2 years. We want to deploy there our user-adaptive, deeply phenotyping test into this study. These tests are featuring dynamic difficulty adjustment system. These tests are just tailored to each individual and getting rid very quickly of this practice and learning effect. They are just inclusive of everyone's level, everyone's phenotype, and they are engaging because they evolve with you. To allow this test to become validated endpoint, we need this big study where the patients will provide with results every single week on their own smartphone. For sure, for sure, such a big study, such a large-scale study, will require pre-competitive collaboration that can happen in an IHI-funded project. I'm going to repeat this because this is important. The main outcome of our project is the validation of longitudinal biomarkers, not a diagnostic tool. The validation of longitudinal biomarker of the earliest stages of Alzheimer's disease and cognitive decline. And we are going to do that in an ecological, real-life setting, predicting the risk of conversion from normal cognitive status to this prodromal stage of Alzheimer's disease, and then to this mild cognitive impairment level. Our project empowers patient-centric research and will strengthen European leadership in brain health and innovation. Our team has a proven track record in science, technology, drug discovery and development, and digital biomarkers. And we are already collaborating with a partner listed here to transition from science to clinical development and endpoints. We are looking for academic hospitals and memory clinics, patient advocacy groups, health economics and outcome researchers, and biopharmaceutical industry partners, including other companies developing.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel. Thank you for that presentation. You can just exit the stage to the left there. Thank you very much. And the next presenter is from ACTA. Please welcome to the stage, Melissa. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. My name is Melissa Grant, and I'm from the University of Birmingham. I'm stepping in for my colleague Floris Bicker from ACTA today. I'm going to present our consortium, ObioMar, which are oral biomarkers for early health, early detection and monitoring of systemic diseases. So we are deeply invested in using saliva as a medium for understanding what's happening in the whole body, in the systemic disease, and using it for this early detection so that we can help patients get their treatment earlier, and then hopefully also mean that they have less treatment and that there's less burden on the healthcare system. We're interested in looking at a whole range of different types of systemic disease, as you can see on the slide here, from diabetes mellitus to rheumatoid arthritis, obesity, colon cancer, and Alzheimer's disease, to name but a few, and we are open to other ideas as well. So you may ask, why saliva? So we're really interested in saliva because instead of blood, which is quite invasive to collect and is not particularly welcomed by some patients, saliva is really easy and non-invasive. We know that saliva contains many biochemical, molecular, and microbiological signatures that we can use as biomarkers for different types of disease. In terms of the challenges that we know that we have a lot of information about saliva, and we know from our own experience that we have a lot of information about what happens in oral disease, and we are quite a long way down the road in terms of the disease mechanisms and understanding why those biomarkers are present there. But we have less information about systemic disease, and that's where ObioMar comes in, and we get to understand more about those biomarkers and molecules for systemic disease, and also to be able to use them. So this is our project aim, to develop an easy, non-invasive, reliable, and validated test based on oral biomarkers that can be applied at large-scale screening and monitoring for health and disease. We will work to find new biomarkers and also have the ones that we have in-house already. We will work with our own teams, but also move forwards with others. We are particularly interested in making sure that we have the right biomarkers, so that we will do a lot of biomarker validation to make sure that we can take the right ones through to the next stages. We already have partners that are interested in development of those analytical platforms and prototype development, and we will also work with AI technologies to make sure that we get those into the right stages. And lastly, we will make sure that we have those working for the clinic by the time we get to the end of the project, so that we will have a proof of concept that we can deliver further forwards for this project. In terms of what we need and where we are at the moment, so we are working with academic partners at the University of Birmingham and ACTA in Amsterdam, and we are working already with Philips Healthcare and Oral Care. We have some SMEs on board. We have Randox, we have MagnaSense, and Global Access Diagnostics, who are going to be working on the diagnostic development and platforms there. But we're still looking for partners in large proteomic platforms, in parties interested in this oral systemic link, and also in partners interested in the clinical validation further down the line. So what will come out of this program? So we have outcomes that are associated with understanding these mechanisms of health and disease in terms of those molecular mechanisms, understanding more about our host pathogen interactions, having newly identified and validated biomarkers, and having novel, non-invasive methods and tools that we can use regularly within the clinic. In terms of those kind of tools, saliva also lends itself greatly to being able to be used outside of the clinic and with non-healthcare professionals. And so these could move into the home, or they could be moved into areas where patients or participants or people may be going where they are not necessarily unwell. And so that will help in terms of this screening idea and the early detection. So that could be going to the dentist regularly, or it could be going into the pharmacy or other places where patients or people may go. In terms of our impacts, we will have better understanding of health and disease, preventative treatments, and improved healthcare through this regular monitoring. So what do we have already? As you can see, we have academic partners already. We're working with some business in terms of Philips, and we're working in terms of their R&D organizations for oral healthcare and personal care, and we have SME partners. And so we're looking for industry partners, particularly in pharma and medtech, and as I said before, people in clinical validation, large-scale proteomics, and patient-centered care. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Melissa. Thank you for that presentation. I just wanted to remind you guys about the virtual lounges, which are open tomorrow. Tomorrow. It's important to remember that they are open tomorrow. The platform will be open until the call closes, so you can make connections, but these virtual lounges are only open for that one day. So if you are going to make meetings, make sure that you organize them. Next, from the University of Modena and Regio Emilia, please welcome Johanna.
Good morning, everybody. I'm presenting a project called Beacon, and we will change the name because Beacon already exists, so we will add an S or change the O in an A, Beacon. And we will take care of that. But it's a project oriented towards getting a handle on migraine. Why migraine? Migraine is a high-impact chronic disease with little treatment options. So what we try to do is leverage on what we have. There is also a personalization gap because we do not have right now the personalized treatments that we need, especially for women and the pediatric patients we see. So what we are going to address is this public healthcare need and try to get around what are the factors that are driving and predisposing to migraine. Many people think they know it. Hundreds of millions of people suffer from migraine with an extreme high burden. So how are we going to do that? We are going to target migraine complexity by developing predictive models. We are doing that leveraging, first of all, what we have. So we are using secondary data, pseudonymized data that we have in our registries. And we are building, together with other partners, a comprehensive amount of registries and cohort studies that we can use to do that. And while doing that, we have predictive models that get around some of the factors that are driving the pathophysiology of migraine, and then we will test it against the lived experience of clinicians and patients using real-world data. We think that our project aligns with EMA indications because the multimodal data machine learning strategies aligns with a regulatory data vision that is going to streamline, at least that's what they're hypothesizing, regulatory approvals. Also, we will use cutting-edge IA and biological informed neural networks to parse out target groups of possible mechanisms. That is why it is so important to use the data we already have. Next, an important part, we will do that with the patients, with the patient consent, and create new flexible consent for the use of pseudonymized secondary research data in a patient-centered way. We think it's highly suitable for IHI because we cannot do this in another system than a public-private partnership. And so we need pharma. We think partnering with pharma is important because we can accelerate precision medicine in this case. We can accelerate and avoid the trial and error we are in now, create new applications, new availability, and help improve the long-term value through scalable models. What is the impact? We think we will end up with outcome-driven focus on patient-centered precision medicine and reduced healthcare burden because we avoid the trial and error stuff. In the end, predictive migraine stratification models using new targets not envisioned before, will need this approach, we'll need the use of what we have, we'll need the combination with what we are seeing now in these patients, and we will end up, hopefully, with a scalable model. So if this model works, we can use it for other neurological chronic disorders and find regulatory alignment. The expertise we are looking for is our specialists in digital health, additional FPA partners for funding collaborations, patient organizations. What we have is the multimodal integration, the omics, and the real-world application. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much, Johanna. Okay, so our next speaker is from Fraunhofer SCAI. Please welcome to the stage Alpha Tom.
Hello, thank you. Hello, everyone. This is Alpha from Fraunhofer Institute of Scientific Computing and Algorithms. And today I am presenting the proposal AgeMorbidity, where we wanted to evaluate the aging clocks and comorbidity spectra of neurodegeneration. So the comorbidity spectra will mainly be the cardiometabolic diseases. So aging and comorbidities are mainly, these are like the major risk factors of health. And in the current drug development, these two factors of comorbidity and aging is confronted very lately in the drug development process, which could lead to later failures in the clinical trial phases. So what we are proposing here is to have a systematic approach on testing the aging clocks and comorbidity spectra for the mechanism stratification of patients. So we do it by systematically collecting all data and knowledge with a focusing on the indication area, mainly the neurodegenerative diseases, comorbidities, and also the aging clock, along with various other factors like the role of the microbiome, environmental factors, nutrition factors, and the socio-physiological aspects. We wanted to have the comorbidity and aging clocks to be tested, qualified, and developed for their role as a determinant for the stratification of patients, and also, let's say, mark that along the patient age. We wanted to use the advanced or the latest generative AI approaches to generate the synthetic data sets that can represent a good part of the observational space, and by integrating all the heterogeneous data available. We wanted to have the individualized predictions that take the aging clocks and comorbidities into account, and also lately optimize the clinical trials. So of course, IHI is the great platform for the collaboration among of course, we need the patient data custodians, we need academia and various startups for the research and validation and the technical implementation of the project, and also the industry for translating our research results to the therapeutic development. So again, emphasizing the outcomes. So at the end of the project, we will have the comprehensive overview of all data and knowledge, and we will make it computably available for all the advanced algorithms. We are going to have the synthetic data sets also available. We will have an AI-based platform for testing and simulation of the clinical trials, and also subgrouping of the patients based on the comorbidity spectra, based on the aging biomarkers, and also based on the various causative mechanism. AgeMorbidity will also prepare us for the prevention by assessing, for example, the role of microbiome, environment, or nutrition, or lifestyle aspects, and can propose the interceptions at right time. AgeMorbidity integrated information can also be useful for optimizing the clinical trials. So Fraunhofer Gesellschaft, it's like we have like 76 institutes inside like all over the world, and also in Germany, who are focusing on various fields. And particularly from my institute, we have expertise on AI and data science, semantics and knowledge graph, and also the microbiome and gut-brain axis. And here we are looking for more patient data custodians. We are also looking contributions from industry, and also any partner who could contribute the research aspect of the proposal. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Alpha. You can just leave that to the left. Thank you very much for that presentation. A reminder that we are active on social media. IHI has a LinkedIn account, and we are also on Mastodon and X. So if you follow us there, you can also find information about Call 9. The next speaker that I would like to invite is from Apheris. Please welcome Sabrina.
Good morning, my name is Sabrina. I'm from Apheris, a German deep tech startup in Germany, but we're based in many countries across Europe. From discovering a new therapy to developing new diagnostic tools, healthcare breakthroughs are only possible if organizations have access to the right data. And the largest and most valuable data sets are typically private, sensitive, highly regulated, and distributed. You may have your own data and your own scientific research methods, but having access to larger and more diverse data to train better models is necessary to give you the accuracy that you need. And you have to be compliant with regulations. We enable pan-European use cases from drug discovery to real-world evidence to public health research through federated learning. That means we move the algorithm instead of the data across borders and organization borders. We provide technical privacy and governance controls so that you can decide very nitty-gritty who can do what kind of algorithmic workloads on which parts of your data sets. The heart of our proposal is empowering public-private partnerships and research collaborations. We are supporting you to bring your own secure data network to life and then advance in science and improve patients' lives. The key to your success may be our industry-ready federated learning platform with built-in privacy, security, and governance controls, so you can focus on innovation and comply with regulations. Together, we want to transform and speed up the whole process of how collaboration in healthcare on sensitive data is possible. You can focus on healthcare innovation through improved algorithmic accuracy by securely utilizing diverse distributed data sets. And the possibilities of applications are unlimited, and so is the size of the data network that you aim to build. And you can imagine us being like the taxi that you ordered, and you decide who joins the ride and where we go to. So we are a match if you have the data, the AI models, and/or the use case, and we will provide you with the secure federated learning infrastructure you need to keep the data private and under your full control at all times. So if any of this resonated with you, we are also here with a poster. We are in the central poster showroom in the corner. I'm happy to discuss consortia ideas together with you. Oh, yep, thank you.
Thank you very much, Sabrina. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much for that presentation. Our next speaker is from King's College London. Please welcome Theodora.
Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Theodora Stewart. I'm from King's College London, and I'm here to give you a glimpse into a world you probably never knew existed, the world of metallomics and creating the first human metal atlas. So metals only make up 2.5% of our body, but they're absolutely fundamental for life itself, representing 85% of the periodic table. Now imagine creating a human metal atlas on the scale of the Human Genome Project that would fundamentally transform how we view human health and disease. So this is the vision of TremMatlas, a translational research ecosystem in metallomics, centered on creating the world's first multi-scale human metal atlas from cell to tissue to whole body. Yes, it's ambitious, it's unprecedented, and it's now possible thanks to recent technological breakthroughs. So we want to leverage decades worth of discoveries in biometals to unlock new classes of therapeutics and personalized interventions. But to do this, we need to create a comprehensive integration and centralization of current knowledge of how essential and toxic metals behave in the body through mapping metal dynamics across scales. And in doing so, we'll have a really powerful tool to be able to look at effective prevention, detection, monitoring, and targeted personalized therapeutics in health and disease. So for the first time, we're mapping metals across scales. And that's allowing us to understand the location of metals within specific cell types within tissues and understanding how those metals are trafficked throughout the body to gain greater insights into the function of essential and toxic metals in human health and disease. And by integrating radiochemistry, imaging, and data science, TremMatlas can really form a new holistic view of metals biology to reveal new mechanisms, markers, and targets in disease. So we believe this is perfectly suitable for IHI's larger vision of creating innovative healthcare solutions. So King's College, we bring scientific expertise in the field of metallomics and advanced facilities, but we need to partner with industry so that these biomarkers and targets identified by Matlas can be developed into effective diagnostics and targeted therapies. We need to advance our imaging so that we can detect subtle imbalances of these metals in disease. And we need to create AI-driven platforms to integrate our data, to scale the insights, and to open up access across Europe. So TREM MATLIS will really deliver an unprecedented resource and have a new platform to unveil horizons for personalized medicine. And through these strong industrial partnerships, the hope is that we can translate these insights and novel mechanisms and targets into completely new classes of diagnostics and therapeutics for personalized medicine. And if we can do this, this will really place Europe as a leader in pioneering new innovative healthcare solutions through this new metabolomics lens. And the patient benefits, I think, are clear. Detection, personalized treatments, improved healthcare outcomes in cancer, neurodegenerative disorders, metabolic, cardiovascular disorders. The list really does go on. I'm not going to go into detail here, but I wanted to just put up a hit list of applications of metabolomics, and this is really the tip of the iceberg. If you're going to take a picture of this, and I'm happy to talk to you guys in more detail after the pitch. But I think this is a really important slide. So at King's College, we actually have over a century worth of metal research and experience actually in developing drugs that are targeting metal metabolism as well. And we have a globally unique pipeline for multi-scale facilities at King College. So the London Metabolomics facility, we can image isotopes in the periodic table, almost every single isotope, in one shot, and then we can translate these findings through the cyclotron and radiochemistry lab to create radionuclides to actually visualize and look at metal trafficking throughout the body in our total body PET platform. And what are we looking for? We're looking for industry partners, biotech, pharma, medical imaging, digital health sectors, so that we can co-develop these diagnostic tools, therapeutic applications, AI-driven data platforms, and really co-investment to drive this initiative forward and make the Human Metal Atlas a reality to really fundamentally transform how we view human health and disease. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you for that presentation. Yeah. Perfect, thank you so much. So just a reminder for everyone that the meeting rooms are open today, and if you do want to book a meeting room, you do have to use the whiteboard, which is just outside the registration area, and it is first come, first serve. So make sure that if you want to have a meeting, make sure that you get there and that you book it early. Our next speaker then is from Charité University Medicine Berlin. Please welcome Felix.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for the invitation, and thank you to the organizers. I'm speaking today on behalf of ValBioMS, a public-private partnership that has been established this year and which is fully committed to the validation of fluid, neuroimaging, and patient-related outcome biomarkers in multiple sclerosis and related disorders. We are mainly addressing the specific objective 1, determinants of health and disease, but we'll also be covering aspects of SO2, SO3, and SO4. Let me demonstrate you some of the challenges and objectives that we will be addressing. Multiple sclerosis and related diseases have a very high global socioeconomic burden, and especially in the European Union. High-cost biological therapies are available, but with limited efficacy. So we have challenges in terms of prevention. Biomarkers to detect pre-symptomatic and early disease are lacking. The challenge of prediction, we really need biomarkers that can predict disease course, chronic disease activity, and related disability and treatment response. Accessibility is a big topic and challenge. Standardized and easily accessible biomarker detection methods and platforms are rare and need to be established. And especially the points of people and patient centricity is needed. Standardized patient-reported outcome measures are needed to guide a more personalized therapy and decision-making. And very importantly, multimodality and big data are a big challenge in this field. More personalized, combined multimodal biomarkers from clinical, biofluids, neuroimaging, and patient-reported outcomes, PROM, are still to be established. So to address these challenges and to solve these problems, our approach is the establishment of the European Union-wide international consortium ValBioMS. This public-private partnership includes patient organization, academic and industry experts in the field of neuroimmunology and neurodegeneration. we have the shared aim of validation of multimodal candidate biomarkers of disease prediction, early detection, prevention, including the aspects of biofluid, neuroimaging, and patient-reported outcome biomarkers in multiple sclerosis and related disorders, covering aspects of neurodegeneration. Secondly, we aim to foster innovation and aim to develop and validate novel technology that make biomarkers more accessible and make it possible to discover novel biomarkers. Therefore, in WellBioMS, we have established a working group strategy for different lines of research. We will establish a multicentric prospective and retrospective clinical study with groups of expertise for biofluid biomarkers, neuroimaging biomarkers, patient-related outcome measures, and very importantly, data science and AI to make multimodal biomarkers accessible. So with this large-scale public-private partnership, we think this project is perfectly suited for IHI. We especially think that it's really essential to synergize public and private partners for this project to reach our shared goal, bringing health innovation to European patients in form of effective multimodal biomarkers. Our industrial collaborators will be really crucial and essential to provide technical expertise in products and also clinical data and samples from pharmaceutical companies. If we can realize this project together, the expected impacts will be tremendous, especially for patients with improved outcomes in the EU. But also innovative solutions will be established, for example, point-of-care tests and multimodal biomarker assessments and related technology that can be implemented into the healthcare systems and make the European Union's industry sector more competitive in this field. So what we offer is the WellBioMS consortium led by Professor Friedemann Paul from Charité University Medicine Berlin, with its committed partners from academia throughout Europe, including partners from the IHI project CLAIMS and the IMI project 3TR, and our industry partners and public partners, and also our potential partners from academia and industry. What we are looking for is the involvement of additional large industry and SME partners that share our vision for this project. So please don't hesitate to speak to me in the networking area or contact me via email. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Felix. Thank you for that presentation. So we have had very interesting pitches today and yesterday, so we hope that they translate into interesting applications for Call 9. Our next speaker is from CPI. Please welcome to the stage Stephen.
Morning, everyone. So I'm going to talk to you about a next-generation cancer diagnostics program which brings together spatial biology and multi-omics data sets. There we are. So the aim of this is to look at earlier, more accurate detection of complex cancers, and what that will do is support the drive towards personalised healthcare and personalised therapies. How we'll do that is bringing together complex data sets associated with spatial biology and multi-omics, and what we're trying to do is progress these technologies and data sets to, importantly, clinical and industrial maturity. How will we do that? We'll bring together an ecosystem in a pre-competitive fashion of academia, industry, healthcare providers, and bring them together in a real shared challenge. What we'll look to do is overcome the key barriers to innovation which we see at the moment, which requires pre-competitive collaboration, so things like regulatory, development of scale-up infrastructure, health economics, technology standardization across Europe, and importantly, bringing those technologies to clinical readiness. Is our project suitable for IHI? Yes, it is, because it requires collaboration across multiple stakeholder types across the ecosystem in Europe. For instance, public sector, we need support from a political and reimbursement perspective. We need support from an academic perspective to bring new biological technologies to industrial maturity, and we need collaboration across industry, across many industry verticals in healthcare. So pharma, med tech, of course, diagnostics, and importantly, big tech as well. So really bringing multiple industry stakeholders together. What will the outcomes be? So we'll be able to demonstrate and enhance the clinical maturity of disruptive technologies. We'll be able to develop a standardized approach across Europe, and we'll hopefully be able to enhance the commercial adoption of next generation diagnostic type technologies, which can really change the game in terms of personalized therapies and personalized diagnostics. So CPI is an organisation. We're based in the UK. We have around 750 scientists and engineers. We have a lot of capability in diagnostics product development. We've got good links with pharma, medtech and diagnostic companies. We're working with some of the best universities in the world. So the call to request here really is to come and speak to me. You've got a green lanyard on. You can connect with me on the program. We're really looking for partners from a clinical perspective, from an academic perspective, and an industrial perspective across Europe. It's a program which is gathering pace in the UK, and we'd love to branch the program out across Europe. So really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you. Thank you for that, Joe. Okay, so our final picture for today then is from GSK. If you could please welcome to the floor, Graham.
Morning, everybody. I realise I'm keeping you from coffee, so I shall be relatively brief, but I'm Graham Summers from GSK. I look after our IHI portfolio, and I'd like to present to you a proposal that we're batting around within GSK. It's not formalised or crystallised. We're just building it as we go. So I will be here all day. Please come and talk to me during the day, and we can discuss potential opportunities. So Roisin actually introduced this topic yesterday as part of Objective 2. It's basically a project looking to try and reduce the burden of resistant infections. And what we're trying to solve is that if you look at the analysis of the antibiotic pipeline done by the WHO recently, you can see that there is still an insufficiency in novel modalities in antibiotics, and there's also a dearth of antibiotics against priority pathogens. So what we want to do is try and supercharge that activity. But we're talking here about very early stage activities, so mostly in vitro, possibly some in vivo, but no way towards clinical trials. So this is a really early stage incubator to try and supercharge the antibiotic pipeline. So what we're thinking of is an incubator which will be a platform that will have or will develop models that will help us to understand and de-risk early stage modalities and molecules for novel anti-infectives. So that's models of efficacy, that's models of translatability, safety, and generally understand the risks of these new modalities, because the new modalities are likely to be different. We're not talking about traditional small molecules, so they will have different challenges compared to the small molecules that we're used to dealing with. So we're effectively looking to try and implement a platform that will help us to understand which are the safe bets and what are the risks around molecules. We're also looking to bring in diagnostics and diagnostic strategies to be developed alongside these new modalities, and really get to the goal of diagnosis and treat in antibiotics, and therefore to reduce the development of resistance. We think this platform will be disease agnostic, but we will probably end up with a few modalities and some case studies against priority pathogens, and we're hoping that the modalities that we start to look at could be applied or tweaked across different bacteria so that we've got a broad array of antibiotics. Is it suitable for IHI? We think so. It's a novel incubator concept, so GSK is already leading some accelerators in the IMI accelerator, doing similar things to try and understand the developability risks of early stage molecules. A lot of that is in TB, but this will be, as I say, disease agnostic. And what we will need is expertise across the board for understanding the biology, understanding resistance mechanisms, how diagnostics can play into that, and really the expertise in which pharma can bring, which is the understanding of medical intervention against priority pathogens. Something that we're still discussing is AI and modelling, and we'd like to use AI and modelling to try and predict the developability of these new modalities, how they will translate, will resistance develop, and effectively, will they be useful molecules or not. So we're kind of, the aspiration at the moment is a substantial budget to achieve these across a few modalities, and we're looking about 15 to 20 billion of in-kind. That's the aspiration. So the outcomes and impacts are obvious. It's going to be early stage, it's going to be pre-candidate selection, and we will look to develop new modalities. And I should emphasize that it's new modalities, it's not a traditional small molecule, so there needs to be something differentiating in the molecule. It's a high-risk strategy. Some of these new molecules are going to have high risk associated with them that we need to develop within the consortium. What I would say again is it's not related to vaccines, but anything outside of vaccines is in play for us. And I think that's it for me.
Brilliant. So thank you so much, Graham, for that.
Oh, sorry. I should just say the expertise and resources that we've got. We've already talked to a number of different institutions. We've talked to some academics. We've got some medtech partners on board. None of this is set or fixed in stone yet. So what we're looking for is people with novel modalities and novel models of efficacy that can help us to predict those developability risks. Access to relevant pathogens, and certainly development of AI that will help us to bring all this together and predict which are going to be the best molecules. Sorry.
It's no problem. Thank you very much for that presentation. Thank you. Thank you. So that was the last of our pitchers for specific objective 1. Our next pitchers will be presenting proposals for projects that address specific objective 5, enabling the development of new and improved evaluation methodologies and models for assessing healthcare solutions. So please welcome to the stage our first speaker for topic 5, who is Amit from the Middle East Technical University.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ahmet. I am from Middle East Technical University of Ankara, Turkey. Today, I will present you our proposal titled Advancing Personalized Therapies for Metastatic Colorectal Cancer Through Patient-Derived Organoids, in short, PDOs. So, current preclinical models, for example, cell lines or animal models, often fail to accurately predict how human tumors will respond to treatments. So there is a significant unmet need for models that can predict how a patient's tumor will respond to various drugs. PDOs can more closely mimic the biology of tumors. By using PDOs, we can identify the drugs or drug combinations that are effective in overcoming drug resistance. PDOs offer more suitable platform in clinical decision-making for testing or selecting the most appropriate treatment for each patient. Through the IAH, we envision a partnership with the pharmaceutical and/or biotech companies to access cutting-edge technologies and resources for scaling up for clinical impact, including high-throughput drug screening, PDO culturing, or 3D bioprinting. So our outcomes and the impacts will be on the drug development and clinical translation, cost effectiveness for long-term partnerships, strengthening the European healthcare ecosystem, and reducing the healthcare cost. So we have an extensive expertise on culturing or generating patient-derived organoids, which is over 9 years. So currently we have over 20 patient-derived organoids in our biobank from metastatic colorectal cancer patients. So I have a poster hanged, and you can come and see what preliminary data we generated so far for characterization of these organoids. And we are ready to collaborate with especially pharmaceutical companies and SMEs and the biotech companies to access their cutting-edge research facilities, especially for the high-throughput drug screening technologies. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you very much. You can just leave the stage there to your left. Okay, thank you very much for that, Amit. That was a very efficient presentation. The next speaker that I would like to welcome is from the Hacettepe University Faculty of Medicine. Please welcome Feza.
Good morning, everybody. Actually, I would like to thank the IHI organizers for having our poster and our presentation at this meeting. Manitoba is a state in Canada, but this state of Canada practically has nothing to do with us because we have an additional letter A in our acronym, which stands for osteoarthritis. So, osteoarthritis, to make it simple to you, 1 out of 2 people in this room will have osteoarthritis symptoms when you reach the age of 72. So osteoarthritis is with us for centuries, and we are trying to treat this disease. So if you don't walk, or if you cannot walk 3,572 steps a day when you're at the age of 72, then you will develop comorbidities, which is like diabetes and hypertension and things like that, which put a huge burden on the health system. So what we are trying to do with our project is we want to bring in new tools. The first 3 are for diagnostics, and the last one is for the treatment of osteoarthritis. We are willing to introduce the motion analysis system, which is already there. It's patented. It has a CA mark in the UK, and it's also approved by the regulatory bodies in the United Kingdom, and we can use that system to diagnose osteoarthritis. And then we have the multi-omics technology for analyzing the synovial joint fluid and the serum for markers of osteoarthritis. And finally, we are working on biosensors to sense the disease at the bedside or at the outpatient clinic of our patients to see if we can early diagnose the disease, or we can predict the natural course of the disease, or whether we can just see if our treatments work. And finally, Martin Studort from the AO Institute in Switzerland is working on new therapeutics, nucleic acids, to treat this disease. So this is a complex disease, so we need to better understand it, and then we want to keep people mobile. So are we suitable for AHI? Yes, we have a multi-layered, multi-standard, multidisciplinary group. We already have a consortium, and working contributing to our project is basically some SMEs who will be interested in transferring our biosensors from the lab to the field. We need patient societies, so I was lucky to meet a few of them, at least the umbrella organization here. But if there's someone from the regulatory bodies, like EMA in here, I'd like to talk to them regarding our project. So, of course, markerless motion analysis is our outcome. It's going to be multi-omics will lead for the development of new biosensors, and then we are looking for new therapeutics. What we are doing to do, what we are willing to do as a medical doctor, I'm an orthopedic surgeon, we want to stop inflammation in our patients, we want to stop degeneration in the joints, and then we want to stimulate regeneration basically in our patients. So we have an algorithm of treatment for osteoarthritis. There are so many, which means if there are so many options for treatment, then there is no concrete end treatment for any of us yet, and surgery is the last point. As I mentioned, we already have a consortium, and we are looking for new partners, regulatory bodies, especially patient societies, SMEs for our biosensors, and hopefully industrial partners. So these are my X-rays. And then I had an MRI in our department because I'm healthy, I have no symptoms yet. But when you look at the MRI, you see some bone erosion under my cartilage, which means that I'm 62 years old, and when I become 72 years old, I'll be one of those who will experience the symptoms of osteoarthritis. And so we have 10 years to go to find a solution to this problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that presentation. Thank you, Faisal. Okay, so our final speaker then for this topic is from Maastricht University. Please welcome Chang Sun.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. So I would like to bring your attention to this little thing, which means drugs and medication, which can save a lot of life and improve patients' life qualities. Although it looks very small, but it actually takes €1 billion in funding and a decade of work to bring one new medication to the market. That makes me think, what costs so much money and time to bring this little thing from the lab to our patients? Indeed, probably many of you already know, that's the clinical trials. Clinical trials takes the half of the money and time, and clinical trials are actually getting larger and more complex. And in the clinical trials, the most time-consuming task is actually the patient recruitment. So taking up to 1/3 of study length, and 1 in 5 clinical trials actually doesn't get enough number of people. And almost all the trials exceed expected patient recruitment timeline. Therefore, our proposal is going to tackle these long-standing key challenges, which affect 90% of the clinical trials. So we aim to develop and evaluate AI-powered solutions to improve patient recruitment and data acquisition in clinical trials. And based on the findings, we will also create recommendations that will be issued for implementing the European health data space. And how are we going to do it? So first of all, we propose to leverage generative AI models to create synthetic patients' data. And first of all, we will have 2 levels of complexities on those data. So first is the create synthetic public standard catalog of data sources, including metadata on available data and metadata on population data. Based on that, we will also create synthetic interoperable longitudinal patient records in the format of personal health knowledge graph using relevant health ontologies. Also, we will leverage the previous experience and technologies from our projects, for example, the AI-based curations on those personal health knowledge graphs. After generating those synthetic patients' data, we would also propose to generate the protocols that including clinical analysis plan and data management components that including eligibility criteria, sample sizes, and other things based on the different clinical trials. Then we will also create queries to, based on the previous clinical trials, and then to check the potential pools of patients based on the data catalogs, and then retrieve the potentially eligible patients' data from personal health knowledge graphs. And those generated queries can also be used for data acquisition from knowledge graphs and transform those data to a certain registry format. Of course, projects will also include systematic assessment, because we use synthetic data. We, of course, want to make sure that everything aligns with the real data. And we will also create recommendations for European health data space. Based on these projects, we aim to create this more consistent, efficient way to identify eligible patients for clinical trials, and reduce the trial delays and manage data compliantly across different healthcare systems in Europe. And we aim to deliver proof of concepts that can create values for pharmaceutical and also biotech companies. And then also for EU authorities, we create these recommendations on European health data spaces that benefits more parties. As an academic leader, from Maastricht University, we have the expertise in, for example, data management using FAIR principles, and also generating synthetic data and AI-based curations, privacy-preserving data sharing, and building on personal knowledge graphs. We also have a leader of industrial partners who have a lot of experience in pharma development. However, we do need your contributions or your interests to participate in these projects. We are looking for partners, especially for industrial partners, who can contribute to generating, for example, the protocols and also the queries to check the potential eligible patients for the clinical trials. Anyway, so you will find me today, and I'm happy to talk more details about this project. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tom, for that. Thank you. Now, everybody, we will have a short coffee break, so please take the opportunity to book your meetings on the whiteboard in the registration area, take a look at our poster sessions, which, as you know, are in the networking area, and we will see you back here at 11:15. Remember that if you do have any burning questions to be answered by our experts today, you must upload them to the Slido before 3:30 p.m. So thank you very much, and we'll see you back here at 11:15. Thank you. Welcome back, everyone. Our next pitching session will focus on specific objective 4, which is on the potential of digitalization and data exchange in healthcare. I would like to make an announcement that our virtual lounges, again, are open for 1 day only, so that is tomorrow. You can still access the brokerage platform, but you will be able to send messages, but not to have meetings. So I just wanted to re-emphasize that point. Now, if we could please welcome to the stage our first pitcher, who is from Barco. Please welcome Dominique.
Hello, welcome everybody. I'm Dominique Segers from the company Barco, and I'm here for the pitch of the AI RAD project, focusing on AI and improving radiology workflows, treatment, and training. So, in the domain of radiology, we're facing 3 major challenges. First, there's a shortage of radiologists. Second, there's a lack of effective training for new staff. And we also see a huge explosion of medical data. With the ARAD project, we want to convert these challenges into opportunities by using AI. So how we want to do this? We want to first improve the radiology workflows by using AI applications. We also want to install a comprehensive training design and deployment through smart observations. And we also want to look at expediting secondary workflows. We also want to establish best practices of AI and scale it through a framework. And of course, all this will be done by responsible and an ethical use of AI. The AI RAD project will build upon public-private partnerships between the industry and university medical hospitals, and we also want to extend it with additional partners. We want to create a huge impact both for society and industry, and we think we will raise about a budget of 30 million. The industrial partners will contribute mainly through in-kind contributions, and that will strengthen the involvement of the industry in executing the project and also in the uptake of the results. We also want to aim at cross-sectoral involvement. This is desired for the improved impact throughout the whole value chain. What do we want to realize? Well, first, we want to reduce the radiology workflow by about 20%. We also want to reduce the workflow redo by 30%. And this will result into an improved care quality and a reduced time for patients. Also, the valorization of the project results is looking promising because AI in the imaging market is expected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of about 28%, reaching about 14 billion in 2034. We also want to have a more efficient execution of clinical imaging trials, and we also want to look at imaging biomarkers for precision medicine. For the moment, we have 3 partners involved in this project. We have Barco, Philips, and the Erasmus Hospital in Rotterdam. And we are looking for pharma companies with relevance in AI and radiology. We also want to involve more medtech, large companies, and SMEs with radiology AI applications. And I also want to note Barco and Philips will make industry contributions because both are a member of COSI. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that presentation. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, our next pitcher will be pitching with 2 proposals. So it's from CPI, Jim. So Jim, if you could just stay at the podium after your first pitch, and then we'll stay for the second.
Hi there. The first one is big title, Reducing European Medicine Supply Problems Through Data Sharing. This project, the problem we try to sort is that there's a lot of medical shortages in the healthcare systems. At any time, up to 1/3 of medicines are out of stock, and this lack of supply affects patients and prescriber choice and the ability of the healthcare providers to meet this demand. So this is targeting stream 4, but the unmet need is, well, if patients aren't available, then if the medicines aren't available, then the patients don't have a true choice of treatment, since not all medicines are available to them, and it's worse for certain conditions. Our approach is to create a federated data sharing platform. This will enable healthcare professionals to predict stock shortages and utilise modelling to determine the best at scale approach for management of the supply chain. It will also enable counterfeit medicines in the system to be spotted more easily, which will reduce harm. And this will enable better patient choice and treatment outcomes. It would enable companies to better plan production, meaning less waste, and better management. It's very suitable for IHI because the supply shortages affect everybody. No one's immune, and not everyone has the answers on their own. So it needs information from the entire supply chain being made available. It's a multifactorial problem. So all aspects of the health delivery process are impacted by these out-of-stock medicines. So, early reporting of counterfeit medicines as well in the supply chain is really, really crucial. So our outputs is aiming to have a trusted repository of supply chain information for medicines. This can lead to a reduction of stock shortages in the European medicine supply, which will result in better patient care, increased efficiency, and improved sustainability. In the short term and medium term, it would give us a better understanding of the supply chains and being able to control against counterfeit medicines. It will enable better patient choice, improve business efficiency and sustainability due to predictive modelling. Longer term, we'd have a platform for trusted information sharing on European supply chains. This could be leveraged for sustainability improvements, healthcare choice monitoring, and predictions of future medicines development. In-house at CPI, we have strong links with small and large pharma companies, universities, and technology providers, experience with several projects in size and scale to this one. We've got experience of data sharing infrastructures, enterprise architectures, and predictive modelling, and we manage large consortia in the pharma space. And we've got a lot of IT and OT infrastructure, but we need more. We need stakeholders from across the value chain to be able to share that data, and sharing of that data is really crucial. We need experts in the standards, IT knowledge, and with knowledge of the European healthcare system as well. And we're looking for cross-European links. So that's it. So CPI is a non-for-profit organisation as well. So that's
Thanks very much.
Last one.
Thank you for that. Thanks very much.
So this one won't be so fast. This is called Get Medicine to Patients. Big slide here, but I won't go through it all. But there's a current drive right now towards personalised and precision, ultra-precision medicines, such as cell or gene therapy, and they need to be manufactured close to the individual patient, or manufacture drugs that have really short shelf life that need to be manufactured and deployed really quickly. And we also want to be able to monitor the administration and the clinical outcomes and output from the patients remotely if we can as well. But the systems aren't in place for that. The digital and data exchange systems just are not ready for that. So we aim to change that with this project. It's Stream 4. But with this rising push towards personalised and auto-precision medicine, it's going to create a lot more complexities with the clinical trials, adaptive clinical trials, the data that comes out of these trials, and prescription protocols. So there's lots of opportunities there for bottlenecks in the systems. So the proposal will progress solutions to enable the delivery of this and prevent these bottlenecks. We really need to get to a stage where we have just-in-time ordering and real-time quality release of medicines. And using integrated and connected technologies will ensure end-to-end digital connectivity, communication, data analytics, processing, and making use of cloud capabilities and AI, which will maximize efficiencies and identify risks. Our approach is that we'll develop a digital framework for just-in-time ordering, a digital framework and infrastructure for real-time release, delivery, and monitoring of medicines. We'll use 5 key use cases to demonstrate the wide-ranging applicability of this. We have an existing prototype automated packaging and labeling system, and we'll use this to develop the necessary digital integration. We also will make use of our continuous antibody production line we have, and this will focus on large molecule drugs in contrast to the oral solid dose and small molecule of the previous one. Where just-in-time and real-time release capabilities are significantly lag. So there's lots of technologies required to enable that. Also, we want to advance the digital connections and the data exchange required for the technologies that will deliver remote drug delivery, remote drug distribution, and remote patient monitoring. So is it suitable for IHI? Yes, absolutely. This is ambitious. We need collaboration across the pharmaceutical industry, healthcare. Regulators need to come on board as well, public partners. And because it's really personalised and ultra-precision medicine targeted, there's a wide range of technologies that are required to deliver this appropriately. So it's imperative that we get the different industry sectors responsible to come together to identify and overcome many of the barriers to adoption. So our outputs and impacts, we'll create a demonstrator systems that will have an open framework to enable wider adoption. We'll improve the real-time release functionality for small molecule and large molecule drugs and show that this could be applicable across the range of different formulations. It will widen opportunities for further clinical development of more therapeutic solutions, increasing the efficiency and competitiveness of the health industry, and obviously improve patient outcomes. And ultimately, it will deliver impact by accelerating the release of medicines to patients and doing that faster, and digitally connecting the supply chain, real-time monitoring, analysis, and reporting of the data to enable this patient-centric approach. At CPI, we've got significant in-house experience and technology that we'll build on for this project, but we need more. We're looking for biologics, PAT, and analytical partners to develop in and online quality measurements. We need pharmaceutical partners to inform us on the suitability for a variety of real-world processes and real-world scenarios. We need regulatory partners because there's a significant impact there, and that needs to be brought along. We need drug delivery technology partners, diagnostic monitoring solution partners, and also digital, AI, and cloud partners to develop and advance this infrastructure that's required for this. That's me.
Thank you very much, Jim. You can just leave the stage there to the left. Thank you very much. And just to say that if you do see some information on slides and you want to look at it later, we are going to be publishing the slides online after the event. Now, our next speaker is from Huvant. Please welcome Iman onto the stage.
Hi, good morning. I'm Iman. I'm here to introduce Huvant, an innovative medical simulation platform. We are an Italian startup with a clear mission to deliver adaptable solutions to healthcare challenges and ultimately meet the unique needs of each patient. At the core of Juvent's work, we have our distinctive digital platform, a seamless blend of physical two-dimensional models, digital twins, and AI. As you may know, by drawing on imaging data from CT and MRI, it is possible to create human organ models. Ours are fully tailored to each patient's unique anatomy, leading to a more effective and personalized impact to patient care. When it comes to our production process, it's both efficient and reliable. In brain modeling, for example, we can generate up to 150 digital models in just a few hours, with variation rates kept under 2%. Digital models are ready within a day, tactile models take about a week, and fully immersive systems are operational in around 2 weeks. So far, we've seen strong results in brain application and are also making headway in endovascular, nephrology, and pediatrics. Our goal is to bring the same level of precision to other organs, expanding our platform reach across healthcare. One key feature of our technology is its fully patient-specific design. Our two-dimensional printed models integrate XR, VR, and AR directly into the surgical tools clinicians are already accustomed to, enhancing these familiar instruments with advanced digital capabilities.
Sorry, Ayman, just to mention, you have a clicker there beside you. You can't change the slides. And if you see just here in front, you can see, sorry, Ayman, if you just look ahead, you can see. So.
Thank you. Sorry for my voice, but today I wake up like this. And I'm trying to do my best. Okay. At this point, we are primarily focusing on neurosurgery, but as you can imagine, our technology can adapt to almost any area of the human body. We are able to replicate soft tissue and even the smallest structures, really pushing the customization to the next level. In fact, the technologies behind Juvent originated from a series of research initiatives led by scientists in material physics and medical experts from the University of Milan. During our proof of concept phase, we organized several training sessions with students and experienced surgeons in order to validate our technology and establish essential benchmarks. With that in mind, we are here today with a partnership proposal. We are looking for in-kind contribution and collaborators who can help us validate our technology with a broader group of users, expanding our cohort and providing valuable feedback to further optimize and scale our platform. Thank you very much for your time. If you'd like to learn more or explore collaboration, please don't hesitate to reach out. And sorry again for my voice.
Thank you very much. It was a lovely, interesting proposal. Thank you very much, Ayman. Our next speaker then is from Vilnius University. Please welcome on stage Arvydas.
Good morning, I'm Arvydas Laurinavičius. It's hard to be unique in describing the challenges today for this audience. We are producing massive health data in many fragmented ways. And while genomic data is a backbone for precision medicine, we are still far behind in a systematic collection of phenotype data, both in healthy and diseased individuals. So therefore, we need to streamline our data collection and go for multimodal and dynamic data integrations. We propose to partner in development of such a digital healthcare platforms, which is expected to enhance clinical research and patient management workflows to serve eventually as a node and federated learning systems. This goal can only be achieved in the context of large international partnerships. What is expected is a patient-centric, AI-enhanced healthcare model, which is a new modus operandi that we would expect in healthcare in general. And this would allow to develop and validate medical products in a streamlined fashion. What we have, Vilnius University Medical Campus represents a medical hub, a major medical hub in Lithuania, providing a broad spectrum of healthcare services. We are rather advanced in digital technologies. We are implementing computational research teams and have some partnerships both in translational research and federated learning. Also, we have national data agency in Lithuania, which may serve as a population-wide phenotype data collection resource. So we're looking to partner in a consortium which is focused on health data integration, machine learning, and patient-centric care. This is our medical campus, which is represented mostly by the University Hospital Santaros Klinikos, which is now in the process of merger with the National Cancer Institute. And together, we have an ambition to go for the comprehensive cancer center development. And also, Vilnius University Faculty of Medicine has just opened a new facility 2 months ago for translational medicine research, which is a process where we consolidate our resources and efforts to become a useful partner in these projects aiming at digital intelligence platforms. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that. Thank you for that presentation. Now, our next speaker is from the Digital Institute for Cancer Outcome Research, DigiCore. Please welcome to the stage, Pierce.
Good morning, Brussels. I'm here representing 3 consortia. The first is DigiCore, and if you don't know us, we're the largest cancer OMOP network in the world. Secondly, Primrose, the aggregator of multi-indication platform trials running in 11 European countries. And thirdly, the CEO Roundtable for Cancer and Project DataSphere. If you don't know them, they're all the control arms from the trials and the best AI training set in the world. Why should we focus on digitization of pragmatic trials and real-world evidence in oncology? I followed the side format. I'm going to summarize better. Because Europe is losing oncology trial share to the US and China. Historically, 34% of trials started in Europe. It's now in the low 20s and falling. Now, from a policymaker perspective, that's lost high-skilled jobs, it's lost investment in our care systems, and it's lost hope for cancer patients running out of it. That's why you should back this one. Some of the technical reasons are on the chart. But this is our approach. What we're proposing is actually relatively simple. It's to take the components in our 3 consortia and integrate and automate them to create an end-to-end, fully digital, pragmatic trial environment. On the left is the technology stack that we use inside DigiCore for care quality improvement research. It combines molecular data, clinical phenotypes, treatments, and pragmatic outcomes on all patients in our participating hospitals. Now, to that, we're going to need to enhance the outcomes for pragmatic trial. Cancer use radiological outcomes such as objective response and PFS, and this is where the CEO Roundtable comes in. They have used that control data to fully automate RECIST calling for all parts of the body on cancer. That's currently under FDA review. It is not known about in Europe. We're proposing to put that not into a trial, but onto every patient inside a hospital, in all our hospitals, so that we have the radiological information not on 5% of patients, but 100. On the right-hand side, we're going to integrate that into the platform trials. These are today single-arm pragmatics. There's 250 cohorts running in 40 cancers. It's big, but it's limited. They're single-arm trials. So what we know happens in cardiovascular disease is there's a common trial design known as randomizing registry. If we integrate these two using the EORTC's trials within cohorts consents that allow silent randomization, we can effectively get the control arms not only at phase 1 next indication, but all the way through until phase 3 on those next indication trials. That can transform our trial methodologies and radically reduce the cost of next indication research, especially useful in the Inflation Reduction Act era. Why IHI? We're not here to build a pilot. We're here to build globally transformative open source technology. We need trialists from across academia and industry to upgrade those methodologies in ways both sides accept. We need the molecular diagnostics companies to integrate the new molecular cancer OMOP tables into their bioinformatics workflow. We need the imaging companies to take those automated RECIST calling processes and drop them in their PACS systems. We need the national clinical informatics initiatives to drive this to scale using standardized data in your healthcare systems. That is a prize worth going after. Outcomes and impact, lots we could say here, but let's keep it simple. There's really two big outcomes here. Firstly, to make Europe the destination of choice for oncology trials globally. That will create huge numbers of jobs and tax revenue. Secondly, we will throw off huge amounts of care quality improvement data from that digital infrastructure to drive the adoption of innovation, which Europe's quite bad at, and more importantly, reduce health inequalities across Europe. The Cancer Groundshot estimated that there's 50 to 100,000 lives a year to be saved by reducing health inequalities with no new treatments. That's the prize we're after. So, what do we have? On the academic side, we've got most of it covered. We're roughly operating invitation only. It's the industry side. From FPA members, we need your expertise on pragmatic trials. Those of you that are in drop-style trials, especially Primrose, those are the people we want in this to help us improve the methods. From MedTech Europe, we're going to need your molecular diagnostics companies from Cochrane to solve the imaging integrations of the PACS system.
Thank you so much, Pierce. We have to cut you off there. Apologies for that. Thank you. If you can please leave there to the left. Okay, and our next speaker then is from CliniNote. Robert, would you please join me on the stage?
Good morning. It's really great to see so many great minds working to improve healthcare. My name is Robert Ługowski. I'm CEO of CliniNote, a company also working in this direction, especially focused on how we create and use clinical data. Today, I'd like to present you our proposal of a project to advance clinical trials. So the importance and challenges of clinical trials has been very well described in ACT EU, so I will not go too much into details. Just will share you a bit of research we've done with the sponsors and those who execute clinical trials, mainly principal investigators and researchers. And we asked what challenges they believe can be addressed by technology. And not a very big surprise, they mentioned 3 areas. One is trial planning, including the predictions. Second is recruitment, and the third is all the burden with getting data in the trials. So created a framework that we intend to help with that. So the idea is a bit classical, to develop the framework based on some components we have, pilot, then extend it to the pragmatic clinical trials, as this technology can very easily collect not only the data for clinical trial, but also for real-world evidence. Of course, education is important, and at the end of the process, we want to deliver these tools for this framework and tools for free to all the non-commercial clinical trial stakeholders. This is a conceptual model. I will not go too much into detail, just to mention that the components of this are being used in a number of clinical trials across Europe as we speak. we believe that this project can significantly contribute not only to specific objective number 2 and 4 of IHI, but also bring the value to the overall competitiveness of clinical trial being done in Europe. As of right now, we are in partnership with a company that developed a very interesting AI model. Probably it's one of the best global teams in artificial intelligence, especially after their job done with AlphaFold 3 model. We're also in a discussion with organization representing 160 hospitals, organization representing clinical trial infrastructure support, US AI company, and we've had preliminary discussions with some pharma companies as well. And we are looking and very open for a discussion after the session or at our poster to discuss with industry partners, could be pharma, could be clinical research organizations, additional healthcare providers, especially those who face the challenges of running multinational, multi-language clinical trials, patient advocacy groups, also technology partners, especially those who deliver technologies for clinical trials, like electronic support for source systems, and regulatory. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that presentation. Thank you. You can just move there to the left. Perfect. Okay, so then for our final speaker for this session, would you please welcome on stage Henry from Gustave Roussy.
Hello, and thank you for this opportunity to introduce that project. I'm from GE Healthcare, actually. Dr. Ines Vasluis from Gustave Roussy is leading this project. So today's challenge has been introduced already about the gap between the growing shortage of healthcare professionals in oncology care and the increasing workload involved. The causes for the shortage are well known. They are diverse. They include age pyramid in the profession, the low reward, and the excruciating workload and mental burden. So this is putting at risk the promise of personalized medicine in oncology. And actually, health data are becoming more a problem than a solution. So collecting, aggregating, exchanging, managing, and making sense of the longitudinal data is harder as ever. The objective of the project is to leverage the digital technology and the AI to make data more accessible and to make sense of it across the whole patient journey for caregivers, but also for patients, because they will assist the doctors. AI technology can deliver robust assistance for several menial and illegitimate tasks that bear on the healthcare professionals. Data management in radiology, in pathology, in multidisciplinary meetings, everywhere. It can also fix latencies in workflows. It can improve the coordination between caregivers. So what we want is to deploy it at scale in several facilities that have diverse readiness for technological solutions over the course of the project. And the key role of the patient in the participative role of the patient will be tested at scale with dedicated tools. In our approach, automation technologies will be organized around the workflow needs rather than the opposite. The data communication between healthcare professionals and towards patients and caregivers will be a crucial enabler for our outcomes on both patients and healthcare professionals. We will keep the healthcare professional workforce updated on the digital innovation in order to increase adoption and confidence. And breast cancer, as our use case, will be securing high throughput, diversity of data, and high impact given the high prevalence. How is this suitable for IHI? Well, we're building a public-private partnership, and we're convinced that this project addresses several objectives of the program, including that it's addressing pre-competitive issues about interoperability of data, care pathway workflow analysis, and a wide range of users. It'll be user-driven methodology, reusable to other disease areas, and it will provide access with solutions adjustable to a wide variety of EU multilingual and multicultural needs. The impact will be, of course, on healthcare professional health and patient health, and the medico-economic study will be embedded in our project. It includes both patients and healthcare professionals. It is expected that the reduction of mineral tox will improve quality and efficiency of care, which are testable, and the use case with high prevalence secure good level of proof. So who are we? The Mosaic Consortium is built around expert cancer centers across Europe, and it will further include less center experts in the deployment phase. Industry participants include producers of structured data and processors of unstructured data across the care pathway. What would enhance our consortium probably are pharmaceutical companies that are interested in long-term outcomes, other companies that are interested in workflow analysis and automation, and possibly partners interested in multilingual and cultural adoption. We expect this project to be on the high end of the budget range allowed for IHI. Thank you for your attention, and enjoy your lunch.
Thank you very much for that presentation. Thank you, Henri. So a big thank you then to all of our pitchers today. Please remember that our meeting rooms are open, and this is a good opportunity to go and sign up and check them out. And Slido is open until 3:30 for any questions that you might have for our expert panel, which is going to take place at 5:15. I'd like to ask all the pitchers who are pitching for the next session to make yourselves known to my colleague Sergio. He's there waving. So he will be getting you guys organized, so please make yourselves known to him. And to let you know that we will be publishing the slides online after the event. We will now be taking a lunch break, so I will see you back here at 1:45. Thank you very much. Welcome back, everybody. I hope that you are all refreshed and ready for our final pitching session, which is focused on specific objective 3, which examines on how we can demonstrate the feasibility of people-centered integrated healthcare solutions. After this session, we will again have 2.5 hours open for networking, followed by our Ask the Expert session at 5:15. So please remember that the Slido is going to close at 3:30, so if you do have questions, we ask that you upload them into the Slido before then. So with that said, please welcome our first pitcher, who is Arthur from Roche Diagnostics. Hello, Arthur.
Hello. Hello, good afternoon. I'm Arthur Palette. I represent Roche Diagnostics, and I will present the hard networks proposal. The main focus of hard networks is the improvement of chronic cardiometabolic patient disease management. Why we are focusing on that? Because there are many gaps and inefficiencies when addressing the chronic condition of the cardiometabolic patient management. And this is the reason that is behind many of the acute interventions at hospital level, but also account for many of the visits at primary care and also is the predominant cause of disability and premature death in the European region. Altogether, the disease burden is the economical burden related to this disease management is estimated to reach 520 billion euros. With that proposal, we want to address as a strategic objective number 3, so demonstrate the feasibility of people-centered integrated healthcare solutions, but we think that we will also contribute to addressing a strategic objective number 4 and a strategic objective number 5. We'll do it by generating care improvement interventions with our public partners, and we will test them in real-world scenarios. And we will generate scalable state-of-the-art solutions with our private partners that will support the implementation of these improvement interventions. We'll do it assembling integrated end-to-end solutions, optimizing innovative technologies leading to personalized patient-centric solutions, and also using AI-based approaches to achieve the intelligent use of data, and will propose and test the strategies tailored to the needs of patients. Clearly, we need a public-private partnership to achieve that. We need the public partners along the patient journey continuum to develop care networks where to develop the interventions and to test them. And we need the private partners with a variety of competencies to develop scalable state-of-the-art disease management solutions. So from our private partners, we look for competencies on interoperability platforms and services to enable data availability at all care levels. Hospital and remote patient monitoring of vital signs and activity, both in vitro and in vivo diagnostics. Patient engagement and education solutions, clinical decision support tools, and novel IVD biomarkers or digital biomarkers that may cover unmet diagnostic medical needs. With that, we think that patients will benefit from a personalized care and a reduction of the care inequities. Healthcare systems will benefit from a new paradigm of e-health supported disease management. The companies will benefit from a cross-sectorial public-private consortium that will allow to innovate in a truly integrated care environment. Policymakers and payers will benefit from the real-world evidence that will be generated, and the healthcare professionals will benefit from integrated and seamless care pathways that will maximize the availability of data and will enable a better decision on the therapeutic strategies. We already have expertise in patient and disease management on board. We have a lot of expertise in biomarkers for diagnostic and monitoring of patients, IVD technology, healthcare consulting, digital infrastructure, and diagnostic insight tools. We are looking for public health networks that can cover all care levels, and we are looking also to complement our expertise on monitoring of patient vital signs and activity, both in vitro and in vivo. We are also looking for novel biomarkers and new in vivo solutions and digital biomarkers too. Interoperability services and digital infrastructure in order to build integrated data flows across care settings, clinical algorithm development, AI for natural language processing and data analytics, patient engagement solutions, remote patient monitoring tools, and PROM and PREM capturing and analysis. We estimate that the total budget will be 30 million euros, and the length of the project is estimated to reach 5 years. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the presentation. Thank you. Thank you. You can leave that on the left. Okay, so our next picture is one you have seen before. From CPI, I would like to welcome Jim. Hi.
Hi. Hello again. I'm going to talk about manufacturing innovation in complex therapies through decentralized and automated networks. There's a busy slide here, so I won't go through it all, but the problem we're trying to solve is that as we want to move towards more patient-centric approaches and have decentralized and manufacture and healthcare networks, we need to ensure that the data flows and exchanges are secure. And that's a big problem because cybercrime and attack across the global economy is massive. And for the healthcare In the pharmaceutical sector, it's the highest. It's almost $5 million in that sector per event. So what we're proposing is to create cyber-secure models based on approaches that will lead to that decentralized manufacturing and personalized approach of medicine. So it's looking at automated 3D printing and mRNA production to be brought, because these are more suited for direct-to-patient and point-of-care supply paradigms. And if we can create secure networks and show that that works, we can demonstrate that and create these demonstrators to show industry that this is secure, and this will encourage further investment and developments in the areas. Right now, there's very few cybersecurity demonstrators available, and in our facilities, we're well set up to establish these and demonstrate them to industry. So that will ensure that we have robust networks that creates confidence to industry and will provide better outcomes for patients. Our approach is that we need industry to engage in this automated process and connect and give us, work with us to show what would work for them, to come up with deployment of best practice that will work for everybody, because we need a standardized approach. This needs to work on an international level and a regulatory level. So we need to build up these robust networks, and we need to get their perspective as well, from a technical perspective as well as a financial risk perspective. We need to be able to protect the supply chain as well, so we need to involve people from across the different sectors. In the first instance, though, we're going to target the pharma and vaccine space, but what we develop there should be able to be rolled out across the different areas. So we require public and private collaboration for this. Nobody has the solution on their own, and we really need to work with everybody. And again, we need to work with the regulators, and this really needs to be a standardized support to get all these architectures standardized and make sure that we're working with systems that will work for everybody, from industry all the way through to the healthcare, and even the patient's data as well needs to be secure. And it's a lot of duplication in this slide, but yes, the project is very suitable for IHI. It's not something that we can do on our own. It's not something one organisation can do on their own as well. But we need to have all these outcomes worked out, and we need to collaborate to get better understanding of the risks and how we mitigate that, and then use these demonstrators to show how that's going to work. So, as I said before, first thing is to target vaccines and the pharma space in the first instance, but we can roll that out to other areas, devices and diagnostics. Outcomes and impacts. In the short term, what we want is companies to adopt the design, these automation and network designs that have been developed, and these architectures that are developed, and that encourage people to invest in the decentralized supply chains if they show that we can show that these demonstrators are working. In the medium term, this will lead to commercial companies trialing more medicines in the EU. Because we're starting in mRNA and 3D bioprinted area, then that will encourage that to go on the market faster. And then, working with the regulators and industry to create new cyber security standards. Now, at CPI, we've got a lot of capability in-house. We've got some nice facilities that are set up with clean rooms and GMP capability. We've got cybersecurity best practice already for a demonstrator, but it's on a single site. It doesn't go across the networks, so we'll use that to build upon and show that it can work across networks and across different data streams. We have a team in place that's got expertise in this, but again, we're looking for collaborators. We need experts in cybersecurity, cloud and on-premise methodologies, OT cybersecurity best practice demonstrators. That's what we want to develop. We need help with that. Threat detection expertise, and also, this is really kind of important as well, financial risk assessment expertise. And also, we have some 3D print capability, but we need more. We need collaboration in that area. And that's that.
Thank you very much, Jim. Could I ask you to stay there for the next one? Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're sick of me. So, personalisation and stratification of healthcare solutions. So currently, right now, when you get a dose, a drug that's prescribed, you're treated with a universal dosage. It's not targeted at you. You might be different sizes, different ages, your weight, you get genetic variation. And by doing this standard approach, it's at risk that you're not getting the proper efficacy and you might get unwanted side effects. So the solution is to propose that we're proposing create a common framework for this personalised medicine approach where the development, the manufacture and the regulation, importantly, of these pharmaceutical products can be designed to maximise the benefit for each patient. The activities in this project will first review the current ways of working in terms of process development, manufacturing and the clinical trials methodology. We'll adapt the process development pipelines and manufacturing to enable this personalised approach in a sustainable manner. Work closely with regulators to look at the clinical trial approach, getting away from the standard approach that we have to go more towards adaptive clinical trials. And this will enable us to establish efficacious dose ranges to account for these individual traits. And we'll look to develop the systems and tools that are required as well for the end users to be able to prescribe those medicines in the clinic. And this change is obviously going to lead to different economic aspects, and we need to look at reimbursement models. But again, it's an international thing here, so we need to review the process across industry networks to create a common framework, common processes that everybody's happy with, industry and the regulators and the healthcare systems as well. It's very suitable for IHI. We need collaborations. This is multidisciplinary. We need it across the whole ecosystem. We require expertise from public, private, to ensure we get this common approach that everybody will be happy with and it can be adopted. Inputs required from pharmaceutical partners to help identify what that common framework needs to look like for the personalised medicine approach and how they're working, what their approach is right now, what they need it to be. So this will help us develop, manufacture and get the regulations all lined up that can maximise the therapeutic benefit to individual patients. Results and impacts, we would deliver an improved, efficient healthcare system towards personalised treatment that maximises therapeutic benefit of these products. We would build frameworks across the whole operation from manufacturing all the way through to administration. The treatments will be stratified based on individuals rather than a collective. It will be more sustainable because there will be less waste. It's more targeted at the patients. We will have more efficient and delivery of clinical trials, more effective, clever clinical trials that allow that flexibility in dosages to give that personalised, patient-centric approach. And it's established dosing models and tools that can be administered, and the clinics can use these tools. And again, we need to look at the reimbursement area, then we'll develop things that make it more cost-effective for healthcare. Now, we are not going to change the way the current system works. We're going to build on how it is just now and create infrastructure that's working infrastructure that's already there. And this will aid the smooth adoption of it within the ecosystem. It will increase competitiveness because it's innovative, it's going to enable continued innovation in the area. It will create more optimal treatments for patients, it's benefiting the patients. It will reduce waste, it's much more sustainable, and it will have more effective clinical trials. And by doing all this, it's going to be beneficial to patients. They're going to get more targeted treatments. In CPI, for this area, we've got pharmaceutical process development expertise, scale-up expertise. We've got process modelling across different areas. And we're used to working as part of larger consortia to deliver projects like this. But as before, this is something that needs people from all over. We need people from different parts of the supply chain, the pharmaceutical industry. We need to work with the regulators, healthcare providers, pharma, diagnostics, across the range, manufacturers, technology providers, clinicians as well, because they're key to this. You've got to design the trials. It's got to work within the systems that they're working with, and trial providers as well, CROs, and also academics have got approaches towards this that will be really valuable. And then looking at the reimbursement side of things as well, so you want to engage with the insurance companies as well. And that's it.
Thank you very much, Jim.
Thank you.
Thanks very much for the presentations. Lots of interesting proposals coming from CPI there. Also, as you are preparing some ideas for proposals, don't forget that we have FAQs on our website, so frequently asked questions. So if there is something that crops up, you can check that, and you can also, of course, add your questions to Slido for our Ask the Expert session. Our next picture then is from Istituto Ricerche Pharmacology, Mario Negri, IRCCS. I'm sorry for destroying the name. Christos, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm Christos Xenaris from Mario Negri Institute in Italy. So, diabetes affects over 425 million patients worldwide. It kills 3 patients every minute, and it costs over 825 billion per year, and is expected to reach very soon 1 trillion. 2/3 of these deaths are attributed to diabetic cardiomyopathy and diabetic nephropathy. There is no definitive cure for these conditions. To address this challenge, we have developed a nanomedicine-based approach that can target and treat and repair diabetes-injured cells. This project is aligned with the objective 1 or 3. Here it's missing 3. Anyway, we will find the solution, as it will optimize this therapeutic tool to advance it towards the clinical practice. The problem, we know from studies from the more than 20 years that thyroid hormone can stimulate the repair and regeneration of diabetes injured cells like podocytes and cardiomyocytes. But the problem with this treatment is that is associated with adverse effects like tachycardia, arrhythmia, etc. So in order to solve the problem, we have developed a system, a nanomedicine system that can carry targets and release thyroid hormone specifically in the diabetes damaged cells. And this system displayed no toxicity, high specificity, and excellent therapeutic potential in heart and the kidney. And now we want to advance our strategy toward the clinical application. And we aim to optimize nano T3 for inhalation delivery. Then we want to conduct an in vivo preclinical GLP study, toxicity studies, and perform a feasibility study for GMP process development. Finally, we want to initiate a phase 1 clinical trial for safety and tolerability. To achieve an impactful health innovation through this project, public and private entities should collaborate. Public entities will contribute with expertise, knowledge, and the private partners with resources and the commercialization strategies. We will need the following key expertise: manufacturing and scaling up, funding and partnerships, clinical trial management, regulatory guidance, safety and toxicology studies, of course, and intellectual property and commercialization strategies. The outcomes and the impact. We aim to develop a dual treatment for diabetic nephropathy and cardiomyopathy simultaneously. There is also a broader therapeutic potential. Nano T3 is highly efficient, effective in repairing also the heart after myocardial injury and cardiotoxic injury. These are our preliminary data. The system is engineered for low-cost production, for scalability, and also for inhalable delivery. This will facilitate also the integration of the system in the nano system, in the strategy, in the healthcare system, but also reduce the chronic disease relevant cost. A successful outcome will position Europe as a leader of diabetes management, but also in the nanomedicine sector. And it's, of course, a patient-centered innovation as an inhalable nanomedicine that can safely and effectively treat diabetic nephropathy, cardiomyopathy, would improve greatly the patient's life. Our field of expertise, Mario Negri, has a long and strong expertise in experimental and clinical nephrology, cardiology, and regenerative medicine. OZ Biosciences in designing and developing drug delivery system and nanomedicines, and the University of Athens in experimental and clinical cardiology, but also in nanomedicine. We can provide specialized resources, human resources, and knowledge, and also we can contribute to training, dissemination strategies, etc., in order to maximize together the nano-T3 integration within the healthcare system. We are looking for pharmaceutical industry. This part is indispensable. Biotechnology or drug delivery expert, university hospitals, maybe business angels, business incubators, or accelerators, something like this, and nanotechnology and nanomedicine companies.
So much, Christos.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, we'll have to move on, but thank you so much. You can leave there through the left. Okay, our next picture is from Semantic Hub SA. Please welcome Irena onto the stage. It should be just in front of you.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
So, and I put next. How can I put?
Is it working? You just press next. Yeah.
So, hi everyone, and many thanks for this opportunity to be here with you today. My name is Irena. I'm a founder and global CEO of Semantic Hub, headquartered in Switzerland, having its R&D headquartered in Finland, and project covering more than 60 countries globally. And today, I'm going to promote patient voice and patient decision-making, topics which were not so widely discussed during these days, to be honest. There is a famous cartoon by Randy Glasbergen. Unfortunately, I was not able to include it into the slides. And there is a lady there, and she tells her doctor, look, you have to learn about thousands of diseases, but I only have to focus on what's wrong with me. Now, which one of us is the better expert? It's a joke, of course, but there is something to it. And there are still so many unanswered questions and unmet needs in the fields of understanding real experiences of patients with severe conditions. One of those needs is related to early, proactive detection of safety signals and understanding proper safety and efficacy trade-off, which will lead to benefits for patients, the industry, and the economy, because I guess you know how many millions of euros are lost each year due to non-adherence to treatment. And that's just one of the negative consequences of not taking patient preferences into account. But where can we get data? As we say in our company, and it's half joke, half true, luckily there is a database with 5 billion patients, and it's a World Wide Web. Patients with severe conditions and their caregivers openly and willingly share their experiences and concerns, looking for the second opinion, striving to support each other, and so on social media, forums, telehealth platforms, and many other sources of user-generated content. They produce millions of real-life stories, and that's the wealth of knowledge which cannot be ignored. If properly analyzed in a compliant way with natural language technology, this can become the source of actionable and sometimes unexpected insights. So the goal of this project is to meet unmet public needs for regular, proactive detection and monitoring and interpretation of safety signals in post-marketing, with the ambition to integrate patient perspective and patient-reported outcomes, to leverage those millions of voices, including patient experts with the high level of awareness, and to bring in perspective of underrepresented groups, including those having poor access to healthcare. We understand, however, that not each signal is a real signal. So we need to carefully develop and pilot models and tools to detect and interpret safety signals in patient-generated data, and we plan to do it in at least 5 disease areas and 10 or more European languages to answer the following questions. How to distinguish between noise and the real signal? What is the right balance between HCP and patient perspective? How should patient perspective and caregiver perspective should be included into health technology assessment? And what should be the right way to assess treatment value proposition and success criteria of treatment, and to communicate it properly to various stakeholders, considering PROMs and PREMs? It all will lead to better allocation of resources, improved adherence, and cost effectiveness as well. Of course, this goal to implement patient perspective into health technology assessment is a very ambitious one, which cannot be addressed by a single company. That's why we plan to involve diverse stakeholders here, and we believe that this project perfectly fits to all the criteria of IHI. As it was already said, we plan to cover several therapeutic areas, namely cardiometabolic conditions, top cancers, several rare diseases, several infections, and mental health, or as otherwise recommended by other partners. And deliverables will include methods, digital tools based on AI and NLP, and prompts and prems for safety signal detection and interpretation. At Semantic Hub, we have AI and NLP platform, which was already validated by more than 20 industry leaders in 60 countries, 40 languages, and around 100 disease areas. We have preliminary interest from several industry leaders and advocacy groups, and we are looking for the methodological support from experts in regulatory affairs, additional industrial partners, and engagement of relevant associations. Based on our previous experience, we really know that the reality check of patient experience and patient voice can bring value across the whole life cycle of innovative treatment options, from clinical trial to launch excellence. And we are sure that it can be leveraged as an important tool within IHI. So please come and join us, and let's promote patient decision-making together. Or otherwise, we will do it ourselves. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Elena. Our next picture is from Skyver Medical AG. Please welcome on stage Linus.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm representing Skyver Medical. We are a Swiss SME focused on developing digital solutions to accelerate clinical trials. So clinical research is an important step before any medical device or pharmaceutical products can be launched to the market. And in pharma industry, it takes in average €2 billion investment in the R&D before a promising drug candidate can be transformed from lab to the market approval. So the majority of the cost, about 60%, are in the clinical study. The reason why this clinical study is so expensive is because of the difficulties in the patient retention and recruitment. So, and also the increasing complexity in study design also contributes to the high cost and the long timeline for the clinical study to complete. So our approach to address this issue would be transforming today's hospital-centric clinical trial into more patient-centric, decentralized clinical trial setting. So to do so, we need to develop 3 pillars. First one is the end-to-end backbone solution to cover the entire spectrum of trial activities. The second one will be the patient-facing application that allows patients to manage and monitor the trial activities and preferably able to handle some medical procedures at the location of the patient's choice. In addition, you can also integrate with advanced wearable digital biomarkers to monitor the patient condition even in between hospital visits. Why this is suitable for IHI is obviously a very significant undertake, and such a transformative initiative requires cross-sector collaboration, including hospitals, research organizations, pharma, medical device companies, and also regulatory agencies. The patient-centric element is also fully in line with the IHI objective to allow to empower the patient to have their more voice heard in the drug development process. And lastly, the aggregated clinical trial data on the platform will be a valuable asset for secondary use. It can be used by the researchers, by the medtech companies, digital health companies to further optimize their solution. In addition, it can also be used to develop advanced AI machine learning analytics. Outcomes and impact. So the successful outcome will be a POC, a proof of concept study, to run a patient-centric, multi-country, multi-center clinical study. If this outcome can be successful, it will be very impactful because it allows us to speed up the translational research, allows researchers and companies to bring their innovation to the hands of a patient in a much faster and cost-effective way. This will enable Europe to strengthen their position as a leader in clinical innovation. And also, the patient-centric solution will also have an economic impact, because if we allow the patient to have a better control and better insight on their disease condition, this will help them manage the disease better and contribute to disease prevention. So, so those will be the impact we expect from the proposal. In terms of expertise, we can provide fully validated GCP and the GDPR compliant digital solution as a backbone to the study. And we have in-house expertise in terms of study design, regulatory strategy, clinical trial operation, data management. We have also technical capability to develop patient-facing app and also AI machine learning analytics. What we are looking for is existing or forming consortium that can utilize our strength and to fit into a consortium. We are also looking for research hospitals, industry players to join this effort. In terms of the in-kind control, we are happy to provide operational activity as an in-kind to cover the setup, the operation of the digital health platform. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Johannes. Thank you. Perfect. Our next speaker is from Fondazione Bruno Kessler. Please welcome to the stage, Oscar.
Thank you, Catherine.
No problem.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Oscar Mayora. I am head of the Digital Health Research Unit at Fondazione Bruno Kessler. Today, I will talk about a project proposal that we are interested to take over here. It is very much about taking integrated care all the way from prevention to treatment, so how to involve people in this path. First of all, I will highlight what the challenges that we want to highlight in this project are. So first of all is the limited access that we have as people nowadays trying to get healthcare services, so the problem of limited access. The sustainability, so considering the population increase in one hand, towards the reduction of clinical personnel, actually, to handle the needs of health. Also, another problem, another challenge is related to the lack of prevention strategies that are currently in sight. For this, we're targeting specific objective 3 about feasibility of people-centered integrated healthcare solutions. And the unmet challenges that we are facing is, on one side, the high burden of the disease for patients and society by involving actively the patients actually in their own healthcare prevention and treatment, making them part of the equation of this. The second unmet public health is the high economic impact of diseases. So how to reach sustainability through digital technologies, how digital technologies can help us on actually being more sustainable. Here, what we want to do is actually, in one hand, conducting integrated healthcare in the whole value chain of healthcare receiving as a citizen. And in the other, we do this through a step care approach. So the step care meaning first step of healthcare is on prevention. So how we can get empowered actually for managing our own prevention strategy together with our healthcare authorities. Second step is about management of the low and medium risk of having a disease and handling the disease itself through digital healthcare tools. And the third step of the step care is about actually providing technology-supported treatment for the medium of high-risk population. The first two levels can be handled, we believe, in a very good way by virtual coaches and artificial intelligence-empowered solutions without need to involve directly in that phase the healthcare professionals that may be really much targeted to the hardest cases, so in the step 3. Why IHI? Well, first of all, because this is a very challenging proposal. If we want to change the delivery of healthcare from all the different steps from prevention to treatment, this is really very challenging. So we need of conducting the proposed health innovation involving the whole value chain on healthcare. And we need a series of partners that I will describe further. What are the outcomes and impact that we foresee in a project like this? First is the delivery of concrete models and tools that are contributing to policy and regulatory science. How? By introducing the active involvement of patients. Second, to proof of concept of the innovative person-centric healthcare delivery, and this through the pre-competitive solutions that are demonstrating in one hand the feasibility of the step care, and the other is the real outcome that this kind of support brings. Third is the increase of the competitiveness of EU by achievement of high-quality healthcare outcomes with more efficient allocation of resources. And the fourth is about empowerment of patients through access to evidence-based knowledge and engaging tools in the digital domain. Then, what expertise and resources we have? We have nowadays already this kind of system, with this kind of proposal already working in a first level in the Trentino region in Italy. Actually, we put together already the policymakers, the healthcare trust, and the research. What we are missing now in order to scale it up into a higher level is the companies. So we need, in one side, the ICT companies that are interested in providing digital therapies in action, and the other, the pharmaceutical companies that are also interested in going beyond the pill approach. So having complete solutions that are, on one hand, pharmacological and non-pharmacological together. We're also looking for clinical expertise here, specifically on mental health, and other regional ecosystems. And that's it. That's the summary of my presentation. Thank you very much.
Oscar. Thank you for that presentation. Okay, our next picture is from Erasmus University Medical Center. Please welcome onto the stage Li Hui Pu. Apologies again for the pronunciation.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Li Hui from Erasmus University Medical Center, the Netherlands. I'm representing our team to share with you our Hospital at Home initiative. So imagine a healthcare experience that patients can receive 24/7 availability of high quality of care without moving out of their homes. So that's the vision of Hospital at Home initiative want to bring to our patients via integrated care through digital transformation. So why it matters? Our healthcare is challenged by an aging population, limited resources, and shortage of healthcare staff to provide accessible and high quality of care. To tackle those challenges, this Hospital at Home initiative aims to extend the care beyond the hospital walls through using digital solutions, but also providing personalized care through patient-reported outcome measures and patient-reported experience measures. How we are going to do that, including 3 parts. First, the development and implementation of digital care solutions. By using remote monitoring, video consultations, etc., we want to deliver high quality of care directly to patient home and also make sure they feel comfortable and convenient. Second, this is not only about technology, but also integrate those technologies into the healthcare routines or the workflows of the healthcare professionals by fostering the management change, but also the change in their cultural and organization. This is to make sure this transformation is acceptable, applicable, and sustainable. Lastly, we want to improve the patient outcomes by providing personalized care through PRIMs and prompts. We think our Hospital at Home initiative strongly aligns with the IHI objectives, especially Objective 3 of fostering integrated and person-centered care via digitalization. We want to develop a model that can be adaptable to diverse European healthcare system. So this needs our public and private collaboration to achieve this initiative. We believe we will bring substantial benefits from this initiative. First, efficiency in care process, including 20% reduction in hospital admissions for patients with chronic conditions, but also reduce the cost through remote care and decrease the hospital length of stay. Second, we aim to improve 15% increase in patient experiences and their satisfaction of their healthcare services, along with 30% increase in their self-management skills using digital tools. By using real-time remote monitoring, we want to develop AI-supported decision-making for our healthcare professionals via interoperable data system that can analyze and interpret all the multimodal data to enhance the care coordination among hospital and home care. We believe we will bring substantial contributions to EU healthcare by positioning Europe as a leader in digital healthcare solutions. What we have, so under the European University Hospital Alliance, we have 3 leading academic university hospitals from Karolinska University Hospital from Sweden, Aarhus University Hospital from Denmark, and us, Erasmus University Hospital from the Netherlands. And thank you for AGI organizing this event. We are growing up our consortium. So we are actively looking for industries specializing in remote care, large data management platforms, AI, and remote care to join us. So if you are interested to join our consortium, please come to have a discussion with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ligui. Thank you very much for that very interesting proposal. And as a reminder, if you want to have meetings going forwards from this, tomorrow our virtual lounges are open from 9 to 6. Our next speaker is from Fraunhofer Mewis. Please welcome to the floor, Nicole.
Hello, I'm Nicole from Fraunhofer Institute Mewis, and I'm very honored to present to you our proposal of European rare disease empowerment. And I know that there are many in the audience, many initiatives to support rare disease empowerment. However, there is a gap. Let me tell you a story. Imagine a patient, Judy. She's 25, has twins, is a teacher, and she develops a very persistent cough and fatigue. And usual medication doesn't help. It develops into pneumonia, and this is overcome with antibiotics. However, the fatigue stays. Very difficult. Her physician suspects long COVID, sends her to rehab, but all the measures don't help. She comes back, adds some headache, it gets worse and worse, and they suspect a psychosomatic stress disorder. However, psychotherapy doesn't help either, and her symptoms just gets worse, her exhaustion gets worse, so this expects cardiac involvement. The cardiologist doesn't find anything, and it gets worse. She has issues with her hands, starts dropping things. A neurologist gets involved and investigates together with a geneticist, and after months and months and months, they have a diagnosis. She has ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, a very rare muscular degenerate disease, and this explains her whole journey. Everything was due to that, and it took 4 years to arrive at this point and get a diagnosis. And by now, the degeneration is so bad that she can't work anymore, can't take care of her twins, and has a very bad prognosis. And this is typical for rare diseases. A very long journey, non-working therapists seeing many, many different specialists and a powerless patient. And these challenges are known to the rare disease community, and there are great initiatives such as ERDERA, bringing together data on a European level, and great patient organizations. However, all of these kick in after the diagnosis. And this is where our proposal is going. We want to support and empower the patients, and that's why it's in SO3, before the diagnosis, like this. We want to create an empowerment portal and a powerful engine behind this, such that the patients can contribute. Imagine Judy again and her physician suspects that she has a rare disease, signs her up for the portal, and now she can have a look at her own data, at the diagnostic tests, and get explained everything she needs. She can find potential specialists to see, and the powerful AI engine behind the portal can help her to find potential tests, to find similar patients, and to find ideas what she can do. For example, she can learn from other patients that a nighttime breathing support might help her not to be so fatigued in the morning, or that physiotherapy is important to help with the muscle function she has right now. The portal and engine also helps the physician to search for potential diagnosis, potential tests, and similar patients, even if they are rare on a European level. And pharma could get involved if they have a medication that could help. They might be able to find Judy as a potential participant in a trial, even based on symptoms before the diagnosis. This is our vision: empowering the patients, the healthcare professionals, and the research bodies to contribute early, before diagnosis, at the very beginning. And this is suitable for IHI because patient empowerment always needs public funding. And to make this work on a European level, we need all parties on board to make this suitable for what we intend to do. The expected outcome is the powerful engine with a front-end portal for the patients to use directly, and real research happening on the real-world data pouring in because the patients are empowered to put these data in, study and retrospective analysis to improve the care and improve cost-effectiveness on rare diseases, and all of this by empowering the patients to contribute. We as Fraunhofer Mewis have expertise on the technical field, on databases, on analytics, on AI, and we have clinical connections, so we know the clinical problem. However, we need your input to make this vision come true. We need your expertise, and if you think you can contribute to this vision, please come and talk to us. We have a poster, and we have a room for a scouting meeting reserved today at 4 o'clock. It's on the whiteboard. We would be very happy to work with you to make this vision come true. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Nicole. Thank you. Okay, so very interesting proposals again. Our next picture is from Data for Patients. Please welcome Christoph. And this is our final picture for this session and for the day. So take it away, Christoph.
Thank you very much. I'm the lucky guy who gets to close the gates. I know I'm in between you and the end of this, so I'll try to keep it simple. Fantastic couple of days, enormous amount of fantastic ideas for patients, but I cannot shake this worry that, frankly, we needed a COVID crisis to slowly start scaling something as basic as telemedicine, video conferencing, and it's really not that everywhere yet. So I have to wonder, and this is what keeps me busy, what is it going to take to scale at the point of care where patients and their frontline workers get together to scale all these amazing opportunities? We have a plan that focuses on figuring out what it takes to scale, not to create one initial project, one unique project and see if it works. We have our proposal is, let's have one project that focuses on scaling at the point of care all this innovation that's coming. Let's figure that out with patients, with frontline workers, European values, public healthcare systems. What does it take to scale? We look at this as we need a European digital partnership model for patients and their frontline workers. Very simply, but we need to figure out what it takes for European patients and frontline workers to partner digitally. And we see essentially 5 points in this. The first one is patients have digital support to organize their self-care in all the needs that they have at home, 365 days a year. That helps them with their literacy needs and that helps them coordinate their care. Second point is for the data that their clinicians need to keep track of them remotely, at home for instance, we need prompts, validated prompts that the clinicians can use to make care decisions. Thirdly, those clinicians need to have clinical decision tools that include those problems in their clinical flow so that it makes sense for them and they can integrate them in their decision making. And importantly, we believe frontline workers need tools that allow them to partner with other frontline workers caring for the same patient, regardless of which silo they work in. And last but not least, when this data gets created at the point of care, it needs to be integrated so that both patients and frontline workers can learn from other patients what good self-care looks like and what good clinical care looks like for similar patients. None of this is supposed to sound fantastic. This is all stuff that exists already. What we want to do is, can we pull it all together, consolidate the learning, and build a model that actually scales so that the next thing that comes along has a better chance of reaching a lot of patients. The last point on this is AI. If we start a multi-year project now, it's undoubtedly going to need AI to get plugged in for scaling all those conversations, that partnership. It's not going to be real-time conversations. We're going to need chatbots. We need AI for data interoperability, data cleaning, for instance. In the second phase of the project, we expect there to be exploratory AI as well. Quick pause now. The real opportunity we feel we have for coming to this event, for which I thank you, is we haven't decided which is the best medical use case to scale this in. And we're really looking at feedback from the industry players. What would be a use case, a medical use case, where you feel the best support, digital support already exists and is mature on both the patient and the clinician side of things? Because if we're going to scale this, we need to do it in a place that makes it the most realistic. Lastly, what we think would be a good idea is if we add a real-world arm to a clinical trial, because in clinical trials typically is where you find those best practices already. Can we add a real-world arm to a study arm where we give the same tools and surrounding functionalities to real-world patients and real-world doctors, so to speak, and see what it would take to scale those solutions in their real world. The plan that we have for this project would be 3 phases, essentially. First, gather learnings from existing projects and very importantly, collect the policy strategy. An enormous amount of work at the EU level has been done for the EHDS, Data Governance Acts, AI, et cetera, et cetera. That stuff is already there. We need to consolidate that and merge it into a learning, then co-design with frontline workers and patients that model that we were just talking about, and then last but not least, assess the impact of this model on healthcare effectiveness, self-care effectiveness, data quality, and data availability for research purposes that matters to patients and frontline workers. Thank you.
We'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much. You can leave off the left-hand side there. Brilliant. So thank you, everybody. A big thank you to all of our pitchers today, because our pitching sessions are now closed. Our pitchers from today and yesterday, I want to say a big thanks and well done to all of you. Remember that our Ask the Experts session is starting at 5:15 sharp, and that you have until 3:30 to submit any questions that you might have through Slido. And don't forget that our virtual lounges are open tomorrow, as I said, from 9 to 6, so you can continue any discussions that you started today online. As you know, if you have discussions this afternoon, the meeting board down there has the information on which room you're in, and if you need any help on finding the meeting room, don't hesitate to ask my colleagues in the white lanyards or the hostesses, which you will find around the venue. So thank you very much, and we'll see you back here at 5:15. Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. Our Ask the Expert session with IHI staff is about to start. On stage, we have our experts. Here beside me is Hugh, who is Head of Scientific Operations at IHI, Polyvius, our Scientific Operations Coordinator, and Antoine, our Financial Manager. Thanks very much for being here today, guys. We have some interesting questions from Slido. I'm going to start with those, and then we will take some questions from the audience. So if you have some questions in mind, think about them, and we'll get to that in a few moments. So, Antoine, I'm going to start with you today. Can you clarify the budget for Call 9?
So the budget for Call 9 is indicated in the call text. It is 180 million euros, so 180 in total for the Call 9. And that budget is divided in a different topic, in 5 topics. So you have the breakdown for each topic in the call text. What's very important to remember is that that budget of 180 million euro is only the EU funding. So it is the public funding, and it is that overall budget that needs to be matched by a similar amount by the industry members.
Thank you, Antoine. And building on that then, what is the expected budget per project?
So again, that information is in the call text. So for each topic, there is an indicative budget per project, per proposal. As an example, for topic 1, there is an indicative budget of 5 to 10 million euro, and this is the EU part, so this is the public funding part. So let's say, as an example, that if you wish to apply for topic 1 for 10 million euro funding, you need to build up together with the all the consortium members, so with the industry member, you need to build up a proposal of 20 million euro, of which there will be 10 million euro EU funding and 10 million euro in-kind contribution. So very important to remember, all the amounts in the call text are the amount of the EU funding, of the public funding.
Thank you very much, Antoine. The next question then, Polyvius, is for you. How has the choice of strategic objective influenced the selection of proposals to be funded? Will proposals be ranked separately for each specific objective?
So we have the 5 strategic objectives that's already indicated in our strategic innovation research agenda. So these strategic objectives are translated to 5 topics. Each topic has assigned to a different budget, like Antoine mentioned before. So every proposal that will be submitted under a specific objective will compete with other proposals under the same topic for the assigned budget. So at the end, we will not rank, based on the experts' evaluation, of course, assessment, will not rank the proposals across the different scientific priorities, but per scientific priority.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Polyvius. And the next question is again for you. The question is, a call document publication has been estimated to be around mid-January. Can you please update us on the expected proposal submission date?
Like we said, it's mid-January now, it's 15, 16, or 17. We're still working through the preparation and the finalization of the core program. Specific date, exact date for opening for submission will be communicated in the funding and tenders portal, and also in our IHI website. And you have 3 months, average 3 months, for preparing your proposal, because we're expecting to have the submission deadline by mid-April. Of course, you shouldn't wait to start preparing the proposal, because you have the draft topic text available. So already it's time to start working, building your consortium, and also building on your ideas. So officially, it will be average 3 months, mid-January to mid-April.
Okay, thank you. And Polybius, I'm sorry to say, the next one is also for you. So, is the assessment for call 9 going to be different from previous calls? And in particular, will the topic be part of the assessment?
So the call 9 is a single stage call. The evaluation process will be exactly the same as in every single stage call. So the experts evaluators, of course, they will take the topic text. This is the Bible. This is how they will assess against the topic text. At the same time, we're following the Horizon Europe evaluation criteria. However, we have some specificities for IHI. It's important to read these evaluation sub-criteria and the evaluation forms that will be available by the time of the publication. Importantly, this one. And then the experts, through their assessment, will also propose their ranking for the proposals to be funded. To conclude, there is no specific, procedure for the call 9. It's a single stage call, and the evaluation process is always the same, according to the Horizon Europe.
Thank you, Polybius. Now, for the next question, Hugh, I'm going to move to you. In the drafts, priority diseases or priority microorganisms are mentioned several times. Is there a list with these or some other information?
So hello everybody, and thanks for the question. But the priorities that are referred to within our topic texts are actually quite broad, and they are derived from a series of documents. So you would have to read through different documents, so like certain parts of the Horizon Europe legislation, the WHO European Programme of Work for 2020 to 2025. So as a discrete list of priority disease areas, it doesn't exist. And to reassure applicants, we will not be directing our evaluators to prioritize one disease over another disease. The topics are broad. But what is really important is that if you read the SRIA, you will see that where we want to act and where we want to address unmet needs are in those areas where there's a high burden of disease on society and also on patients, where that high burden of disease is having a big economic impact, so it's costing society a lot. And as well as that what has been proposed in proposals that are submitted have a transformational impact. So they can really demonstrate that if we fund this project, there will be a transformational impact in a certain disease area, condition, or area. So there's no priority list per se. It's captured from different parts of the legislation for Horizon Europe, our Single Basic Act, and also other documents like the WHO. Okay.
Thank you very much, Hugh. Polybius, the next question is for you again. So if a project addresses more than one objective, are multiple submissions possible, or do applicants have to submit their projects under only one topic?
So multiple submissions, it's not possible. So applicants should decide in which scientific priority, in which topic they would like to apply. So you really need to read carefully the SRIA, and from there you will understand which scientific priority will be your main drive in order to develop your proposals. I understand that sometimes the one proposal or several proposals might touch also upon other scientific priorities, but this will be, like I say, the side effect. It's important, if this will be the case, this to be described in the proposals for the experts to understand how these are connected. But only one scientific priority should be at the end in terms of the submission.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Polybius. I have another question for you then. Could you please share some advice on how to build up a consortium so that each partner contributes their expertise in a way that is complementary to each other?
I will start basically from the evaluation criteria here, because it's really important for the applicants to go through the process and help the experts to assess their proposals, to think like experts. In the evaluation criteria, the complementarity and the role of each participant is assessed. So each of the participants, first of all, should have a valid role. They should have also appropriate budget to perform the task and the activities. So sometimes the budget itself talks. For example, in IHI projects when we have multiple of millions euro, so if you give, for example, to one participant 20,000 euro, is this participant has a valid role? What is the complementary of this participant with some others? So the expertise of each participant should bring the added value to the project. So from that perspective now, when you're reading the scientific priorities, you understand what type of expertise is required in order to develop your proposal, then you go and search for this specific expertise. I mean, the brokerage event today also will have the platform where you can register, you can identify partners with specific expertise required, or what you offer as an entity to the community is also a part of this process. To conclude, each participant has to have a valid role within the consortium to create complementarity, and this is how the experts will assess, because simply as an IHI office, this is the question we're making to the experts. The money at the same time, the funding requested plays also an important role to this definition.
Thank you very much, Polybius. It's just worth mentioning, as you mentioned on the brokerage platform, that we have tomorrow as an open day where you can book meetings through our virtual lounges. That's just one day. You can continue to message each other on the platform until the call is over, but tomorrow is the day for meetings. So just to say that to our online audience and also to our in-person audience. So Hugh, for the next one, I'm going to move to you. In topic 1, what does the wording intercept mean? Is this wording interchangeable with disease prevention?
So it's a very good question. My interpretation of the word intercept, so there's a little caveat there that this is my interpretation, it's not meant in the sense of prevention. I think what we're referring to here would be steps, products, anything that you could do that could intercept a disease. So that would be something that would not prevent it, but maybe change its course. So maybe slow down the onset, maybe help people stay active for longer. So you're intercepting and changing the course of the disease, but you're not actually preventing it.
Thank you very much, Hugh. I have a final question then for you from the Slido, and then we're going to open the floor in case anyone has questions here. So, Hugh, could you please explain the meaning of pre-competitive solution? Does pre-competitive stand for before getting into the market?
The simple answer is yes. We're not looking to fund specific product development. And I would just ask everybody, you have to take a step back. We're a program that is trying to build collaborative consortia to address key challenges that are preventing us from getting innovations to patients onto market. So there's a lot of work to be done in the landscape. So we can foresee that there may be projects that are helping to speed things up, remove barriers, tackle some of these challenges. And of course, this is where we need to collaborate. This is where we need to mobilize lots of different stakeholders. When it comes to specific products, that's not what we are looking to do. It's very hard to do a product development pre-competitively because by its very nature, you are being competitive. It's a business you're doing. So we're not looking for products. But that pathway towards the market, there are many, many things we can foresee been funded there that will help you get your products to market quicker.
Thank you very much, Hugh. Thank you, everybody. Now, have we got any questions in the audience? If you have a question, you can raise your hand or stand up. And my colleagues who are here with the microphones will come to you. Okay. Oh, we have one question from our Executive Director, Nicholas.
This is really cheeky, sorry for this, but if you have one advice to applicants forming a consortium, what would that be?
That's a good question. Which of you wants
all
to...
of you, perhaps.
Mine is always the same. Every event I ever do, whether it's a small info day, webinar, read the documentation. Read the SRIA, read the call topic text, read the evaluation criteria. That is what we will direct the experts to judge your proposal by. And if you haven't read that, you're not in a very good starting place to convince the reviewers that you have the best proposal for funding. So please, when we say read the documents, I know there's a lot of them. I know some of them can be a bit impenetrable and a bit legal, but it's really important. Please read them.
Thank you.
I'm going to complement what Hugh said with one, let's say, joke that I heard so many times. If Albert Einstein was about to apply for Horizon Europe or for IHI, might not get the funding. Why? Because it's too many rules, too many complications, too many informations to receive and really digest. So it's really important to read the documents, because one thing is to have a brilliant idea, and it's another thing to bring this idea under the Horizon Europe. So from that point of view, building a consortium with a complementary expertise and this innovative idea to be a project, it needs certain time and efforts from individuals, from companies, also from the industries, from the contributing partners, to bring their in kind, to talk to each other. So it's a long process. As soon as you start now, it doesn't mean that all these efforts will be closing because of the call 9. Then we'll have another call 10, another call 11. So if you insist, at the end, your idea in principle, it will be a project at a certain moment. So take your time and read what is required.
Thank you. Antoine, do you want to add?
What I would like to stress is just the importance to build a network to ensure that you have sufficient participants from different countries, and yes, build a network with contact, with personal contact, with people from academics, from SMEs, from the industries, and all together build this network. And what I would like to add is it's not only for the finance, it's just for the challenge from a professional point of view and personal point of view. We have heard a lot of people saying that really participating in an IHI project has changed a lot for them in their personal life and in their professional life. It was really the step forward. So build your network and to make it successful.
Thank you. Very good answers from all of you guys. We have a question here.
Actually, two questions, if I may.
Please.
Robert Bukowski, Keynote, Poland. One question is about in-kind contribution, especially in a case that we would like to work with pharma. Pharma is contributing in-kind contribution like a drug for a clinical trial. How this contribution is being calculated. I know that there are some discussions around this. The second is about IP. If we're going to develop some digital products, software, there will be IP. So what's the policy around forehand and background IP? Is it similar like in the other Horizon calls, or is it a different one?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
So let's start with your first one then on in-kind contributions. Antoine, would you like to take this one?
So for the in-kind contribution, so if I understand, in your case, there will be a clinical trials. So then there are two possibilities. So usually it's the pharma do not perform the clinical trials themselves. It is outsourced. And then they outsource to, and this becomes subcontracting. And so the pharma are paying the subcontractors. And so what they are paying to their subcontractor, to the CRO, is valued as in-kind contribution, as recorded in the books of the pharma company. So that's one option. The other option is that the CRO is actually outsourced by one of the academics that participates in the project, and then the pharma gives a financial contribution to the academic that is outsourcing to the CRO. So in that case, it is the academic that is subcontractor and receive the financial contribution in addition to the EU funding, to the IHI funding.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And on IP? Sorry.
This was also about the cost of the drug. Is it a market value? Is it a cost-based calculation? The service, the CRO services, it's I think, well understood, but the calculation of the drug itself, it could be a significant cost of the project.
Yes, okay, that's indeed a very important question, because we had a lot of questions about that. So the tracking is at cost, which means it is the way that is recorded in the books, in the accounting of the pharma company. The actual cost incurred, so it's not the sale price, it's not with the market, but in addition to the cost, there is a 25% indirect flat rate that can be applied, but there is no markup, so it's not the sales price, it's really the actual cost.
Okay. Thank you. And on IP, which of you wants to take it? Okay.
Unfortunately, we don't have our legal managers here, and we can, if you have very specific question for the IP, we can take it separately, but we follow exactly the Horizon Europe one. So if you have experience in Horizon Europe other projects for the IP, it's exactly the same. And you have to solve it also through your consortium agreement and when building the consortium. So from that point of view, in IHI, we don't have derogations.
Thank you very much. Are there any more questions from the audience? Oh, okay, brilliant. If there's no questions, then we might actually wrap up this session. I want to say a big thank you to our experts for answering the questions today. And on Slido, the questions will also be answered, so you can also find them there. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you for this. Everybody, welcome now to the closing session. I'm going to hand over to Nicholas Bloomberg, who is our Executive Director. Nicholas, take it away.
Thank you very much, Catherine. So I think it is on me to close this event. And I just want to, you might want to stand up. I think the first thing we want to do is actually to thank Catherine for being on stage almost continuously since yesterday. I think that's a heroic effort, and I think everyone will agree with me. I said you've done it really well, so taking us through this quite complicated and intense schedule, so thanks a lot. And thanks to everyone who's been here, contributing pictures, contributing ideas, contributing to the discussions. We've had, I think, a fantastic turnout. Checked with the events team just before, and it's been 386 people on site, but actually over 1,300 people have logged in and been part of the event online at different times, which is, I think, really amazing. It's a lot of interest. And remember, this is just the first phase, as Catherine just said. We will continue tomorrow with the online-only session. Our partnering or brokering platform is open. I think there was, but I think we had over 1,400 people registered on the brokering platform today. There is 123 pitches or proposals, and so I think the discussions are in full swing. I've talked to many of the participants who are saying they are returning home to quite a bit of homework. So I think that's really that's really good. So thank you, everyone. I think that's this. We just heard the closing session from the team. This is the first phase of building a successful proposal, and do, as Polivio said, do make the most of the fact that the draft call text indicative budgets are online. You have almost everything you need to start writing a full proposal. We expect that there are rather minimal changes in the final published texts, and so you have everything you need to be successful in your submission in April. So do make the most of that time. And I think with that, I just want to wrap up. I'd like to first and foremost, thank all of our pitchers who have been contributing to the success of this event and given it a lot of colors. We had 61 submissions for pitches. We had the same number of posters, and I think we ran out of poster space in the end and had to decline the few unfortunate latecomers. So thanks everyone who's contributed. It's been great, and the discussions I think have been fantastic. I think the networking was also overbooked. There was 158 different networking sessions booked through the tool, so thanks everyone. And so with that, I'd just like to finish by thanking the IHI comms team, Katrin, Nasima, Iris, Vilma, Sergio, who are all here. Maybe you can stand up so we can get some light so people can see you. But thank you very much for organizing this event. It's been great, it's been fantastic. So with that, for those of you who are still around, a safe travel home, and keep working hard. Thank you very much.